Alright, hello and welcome back, chat. That's supposed to be capturing the game where we show that we're on 1.0.10. There we go, we are on 1.0.10, but we are going to be reading through the patch notes here. Very kind of quick updates, but the quick updates are going to come to a close pretty soon here, because they are going to have winter vacation at some point, and so... I've seen a lot of people kind of complaining about the speed of the updates a little bit, and to some degree it is a little bit of whiplash because we're reading patch notes every week, but we are going to be here, we're going to be in the mix, so we're going to be reviewing, talking through some of these things, giving opinion on this type of thing. Did update, oh, I didn't update the thing. No, not like this. I didn't update the thing. What's in the box? I didn't update the... I made a new thing on Canva, and then I didn't update it. Sorry, this is... I had meant to... Can I not update it now? Not like this. Alright, update the thumbnail for the YouTube. Alright, I updated it now. Perfect. I had made the thumbnail and then I didn't update it. Alright, that's... You guys don't care about that. You care about patch notes. Alright, so we are going to be reading through it, going through it, having a bit of a time. Welcome, welcome, everyone. We're going to be cooking tonight. We're going to be trying. We're going to be cooking some... yeah, we're going to be cooking. Did Muscovy get nerfed? We're going to see. Is it safe for 38 and under? I don't know what they're cooking in the patch notes. Maybe, maybe not. Just to be careful, throw your child out the window if they are under the tender age of 38. There's no sense in not being safe. There's no sense in not being safe. Throw your child out a window. Okay. So, we discussed the patch a little bit, but here's the notes, or a little bit of a reminder of how to access the open beta. If you're watching this stream, you probably know how to access an open beta, but you right-click, you go Properties, and then under Properties, you can click Betas, and then Beta Participation, you can opt in. Okay, report any bugs to the bug report place, and highlights. New set of advances when forming Italy, Sokoto, Manchu, Kurdistan, Malacca, and Malaya. We can go through these now, I suppose, and try and take a look at these. I don't have it in console mode, so why don't we take a look at Italy and Sokoto. There's some issues with the playtest, yeah. Playset. My one mod where all it affects is the ability for you to... the UI to display more decimals if you go over 1 million gold. But we're not loading any of our saves, so... we will be getting in here. Novgorod 2, did they get rid of they got rid of the river map mode? Did they? What? No way. Actually, that's so stupid if they did. Someone's trolling me. That's debated. I mean, I got upset immediately, so mission accomplished, I guess. Damn, they got me, chat. There's no way they got rid of the river. Wait, what? Why would you get rid of the... What the hell? I'm upset. I'm gonna make a sternly worded email. By email, I mean Discord message. What the fuck? Why would you take that out? Did they just take away that map mode and add a new map mode that's a different river map mode? No shot. Wow, now I feel bad for yelling at the person who was correctly informing me of actually the most important thing to me. And I said he was debating me. Bro, that's so annoying. We use that map mode so much. It's information. Why would you do this? It looks like butt, but like, who cares? Anyone who's using the river map mode just wants the information. God, like, actually? Oh, this patch is unplayable. No way. Jesus Christ. Why would you do that? They keep bringing up river map mode again and again, like people don't care about it. I care so much. You guys have watched me play. I, like, use it so much. I'm, like, so upset. Okay. Alright. Italy's now got some more content. Alright. Okay. I don't know what to do now. Actually, like, just like... I don't think they had this before, so that's gonna be kind of nice. Extra manpower. Connect the interior road building time. Did this always give max literacy? Or did it used to just give monthly? This tech's been in here a while, but they added more text. There used to be like 3 or 4, and now there's a whole ton. I think appealing landscape, for examples, do. God, I'm just actually, like, pressed. Alright, who do we have to... Sokoto would be, like, bottoming, right? End stream back to deadlifting? Like, actually, like, time to go to the gym and stop playing EU4 until they... Who can form Sokoto? Maybe Benin? Targeted? I feel called out, actually, because I'm the only one, I feel like, who talks about the river map mode. And, like, why would they could have just left it as is. What do you think of Sweden's new government, reform? We'll take a look at Sweden in just a sec. Trade fixed at 1.10? Well, I mean, there aren't rivers, so... Does it matter? Wait, who can form Sokoto? I'd rather show you guys than digging through the game files right now. But let's take a look at Sweden, I guess. Generalist sleep thinking, why doesn't he have his baby the river map mode? I woke up and the nightmare began, honestly. I thought I was getting, like, uber trolled. I can't conceive of the logic of, like, removing the river map mode. It's like... It makes the game look better. I don't know, like... God. Just makes the game harder to... I mean, I guess I'll be looking at the workshop for a mod that allows you to use the river map mode, like, the very first thing I do. Like... They just added the hotbar permanently. I mean, I don't care if it's, like... yeah, like... You change country with control left click on the country without the map? Okay. 10% speed of integration, good for all the vassals? It's pretty good. Is this the new one? Noble levy size is a vibe. Estate satisfaction 1% is also decent. Is that new though? Trade cap and market attraction. That is also decent. That doesn't look like... Is that a Swedish word? That doesn't look like a Swedish word. But, okay. You were able to get the map mode because the mod... I mean, I guess I just gotta use a mod. It's like... They actually, like... They also nerfed rivers, too. We were kind of, like, looking at it a little bit. Bottom one, Malacca? Yeah, let's look at Malacca. Yeah, that one looks good. It's not for Sweden, it's a bug. That makes sense. Sokoto could be formed by the Hausa countries. Hausa? Is that a culture? Alright. It's not Swedish. Not Swedish. Let's take a look at Sokoto. Actually, geographically, this is, like, not terrible. Get religious wars for free? That's actually pretty nice. Max literacy 3%. Education of errors is kind of a nice modifier to have. Ocho S, thank you for the follow. Auchus? Expected cost court's kind of okay. I mean, it's not nothing, but it's not too great. We have Malacca and Malaya. Itinerant court got nerfed. If itinerant court got nerfed, theocracy might be the best. We'll read through the patch notes, but it got nerfed by 7.5%. Yeah, I mean they're going after. So yeah, we've seen the game being balanced over the course of several months. They've literally touched proximity like 8 times or something, which I think is just indicative of like a larger pattern that anytime you introduce any Tuber01, thank you for the follow. Anytime you introduce like anything that deals with proximity, and proximity is going to be the modifier everyone wants on all their content, you're going to, it's going to be such a huge nerf. I wonder if they nerfed the other gov types as well. Because every gov type gets their like a version of itinerant court, let's say. But yeah, I mean, you just nerf everything in terms of the percentage until the percentage is like, the thing is like, if you just nerf everything into the ground, then all the modifiers will just feel bad. And the problem is when you stack too many of them, it gets insane in OP. Not that the modifiers are good as you get them. Like you have to switch off of like discount modifiers as like a thing. Chazempic placeholder. Or Chasm placeholder. Thank you for the $2. Pour one out for the river map. Thoughts and prayers. Yeah. Itinerant is only 7.5%, so monarchy is trash. We have to check actually here. Well, let's take a look at Malaya. What? Who forms Malaya? We probably have to flip like Sunni or something before we could form Malaya or Malacca, then. I assume it's Majapahit, but we just have to be the right religion. Alright, well, trying to show the thing, but let's go with theocracy and see if they nerf the other ones too. Just monarchy got nerfed, Step Horde stays winning. Does Step Horde get land 10%? Not just Step Horde. I'm stuck in Central Asia, Step Horde. Alright. Nope, they didn't move. They didn't nerf control of the borderlands. Alright, time for everyone to flip theocracy every game. We're pushing spiritualist, baby. Like, the underlying issue is that discount modifiers, like, I don't know. I am not a fan of, like, trying to rebalance repeatedly if you, well, whatever. I don't, they're probably cooking and I just don't understand what's going on, but well, actually, they're definitely not cooking with getting rid of the river map mode. That's actually incredibly frustrating. I've never asked chat to make a sternly worded Reddit post / forum post, but this would be the one. Which one am I looking for? Proximity. I think it's the Sage. Oh. Is it not? Is it H3? We're looking for the proximity that the Republic gov type gets. But we could just look through here. Oh, it's on an unlock. That's right. Political principle. Nope, unnerfed. Stay winning, republics. Yeah, so monarchy's strongest thing gets nerfed, and the equivalents on the other gov types don't get nerfed. So monarchy is out, I guess. Well, I mean, we thought monarchy was the best before, and theocracy was the worst. So I guess maybe it's okay balance-wise? I love how they nerf proximity cost sources to the point of being super boring and unfun rather than just listen to the post 7 months ago. I assume that your post was that you wanted efficiency modifiers instead. I've been talking about this for forever, in spaces that they could see. Is villages worth building now? Villages were kind of always worth building, but they were like kind of medium and fell off. Do love the UI change though, super love that. But it's like, yeah, the 0.5% of market access. Are you kidding me? That's so much. I was expecting 0.1. Jesus. That's real good, chat. That is real good. Someone made a post about, or like a video about, like market villages being. It's kind of been. I didn't watch their video, so I didn't see the full argument or any of the argument, but it's been living like rent free in my head a little bit because I think that the market village is not that good or wasn't that good before, but like contextually good, like Swiss Army knife, like and like this type of thing, and so like sometimes just crazy good and like it was a high variance building, but now. In my mind, the best village was just like clearly the farming village because it gave you more food capacity and the local food production. And food production is something you can't like buy. You can't throw money at food production very easily. You could throw. Eventually, this like the fact that this is less efficient than everything else is actually just a drain on your economy and actively bad. But market access 0.5% is so good. Here's the thing, is like, market access, what's the correct way to frame this? Market access is almost like getting control. So they nerf proximity, but market access, from an economic perspective, it's almost like getting control. Control's a bit better because it doesn't consume more goods, but this is basically control for RGOs. So now that building's gonna be super insane. Market access 0.5% here. Does it scale? It scales. Jesus Christ. Wonder why it doesn't step ladder up to 0.75 on the second level. Okay, well, 1% market access. So everywhere is just going to have unlimited market access in the late game, I guess. Which is actually going to make market protection a better modifier, yeah. Village is worth building now? Very much so. Why is there a update patch every 3 days? I mean, they're gonna go on vacation soon, but I'm starting to kind of share the sentiment. I don't think that there's... I think that there should be... I'm not a fan of, like, systems rework patches every 4 days or whatever. If they have, like, bug fixes and, like, this type of stuff, which I think is what should be focused on anyways, then I'm fine with it, but, like... They're, like, really aggressive with the balance patches. Step Horde gets 17%, 17.5 all procs. Yeah, I mean, yeah, stay winning. I don't like playing Hordes. They removed Confederal Union procs, so now it's 17.5%. Send a scornful Reddit post. Diplo play? Basically. Don't worry, there's one about the river map mode already. Everyone go upvote it. Link it in chat. I mean, like... I don't know. I'm... Like, they could just improve the map mode. I feel like... Well, actually, that's, like, a big ask. That's, to be fair, but... So no more, markets anywhere near the capital? Well, now markets everywhere is gonna be really good. As long as you're not going underwater on your trade, but maybe even that market access is incredible. It's really not like control, because generally being closer to 100, if control was always like 70, it'd be way less important. Market access is not closer to... Wait, what? Market access falls off so fast. I'm confused. I feel like you're responding to something... I'm thinking you're responding to something else. Don't RGO get, access to the market? You produce all the RGO. So you produce the full quantity of RGO, but the amount you get from the tax base is diminished by lack of market access. So just your profit, the full quantity of good is produced, but your profit decreases. Is Johan a descendant of Genghis Khan? I mean, I think also like a couple people have now world conquested. Connor's in chat; he did one as well. A couple people have world conquested with hordes as well. So if hordes don't get the nerf bad, yeah. You need to try the better road builder map mode thing. It's everything you could ever want from a reverse map mode. I mean, 100% I'm going to be installing a mod, because I can't live without the reverse map mode. I consult it so often. Your experience as market access is always like 80. I mean, you move over like 2 locations and it's already into the 80s. And it's like so close to the capital. I mean, I think that, like, on the fringe, it's going to be, like, 60 a lot. Otherwise, people make new market. I mean, it's 80 there. See, it's 65 here. I feel like the average market access is, like, 70 before all the roads get built, like, at game start. But, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Boseikos, thank you for the follow, Big Dice, much appreciated. Does more market access mean bigger markets? No, because it's gonna give... it's gonna have... Market access is gonna apply to both. So, it's based on comparison between markets, right? Oh, it means that bigger markets will be better. Bailiff market on premiums are massive on Mountain Hill's note. Yeah, it's insane on premiums. Check out Sweden's proximity map mode. Check out Paul Allen's map mode. Whew, that's hot. Yeah, that's because, it's using lakes now. Timber and Conquest perk is pretty essential for half the world conquests I've seen. Well, as far as I know, there's only been 2 world conquests, and they both use Timurids, so... Don't you mean all? Have you seen 4 world conquests? Am I missing something? We're currently playing against Tunis with our save. Or not Tunis, Carthage, so we actually care about... Actually, I don't think these lakes are going to matter for that. This one will. We could load that up and see what it looks like. Is video for 1.0.10 out? No, it's not out. It's not out. The lake buff is absurd. Let's actually take a look at how much we're actually spending moving through the lakes. How much is this segment? Wait, what? It doesn't even look like work this way on water. It's using both the in and the out. Both the in and the out is using the equivalent of having maximum maritime presence. Our proximity percent modifiers change. Well, for starters, itinerant court got kicked to the nuts, minus 7.5%. But it seems like they're just nerfing it, rather than, like, it's not a change, it's not a rework. You do not pay harbor access. And it's gonna scale really well. Let's load up... I think we're at episode 9. I don't wanna tease you guys too soon. Lakes count as 100% maritime presence. But, like, yeah, it's like going in and out, so if you could leapfrog across a bunch of lakes... Sweden just casually being twice as strong now? Yeah, I don't... Alright, so... Are we using lakes here? So we go into games, right? And then Into the lake. Out of the lake. Yeah, we are using lakes. A little bit. Not a ton. A lot of these lakes aren't very big. I think our proximity is way lower here. Probably because some of our modifiers got nerfed. No, this just hasn't calculated yet because we haven't unpaused since taking the land. Okay. Fair enough. Itinerary court existed because no one could place feed all the Emperor's massive entourage of ministers. Oh, that's an interesting idea. I mean, I still think it's probably worth going itinerary court because the decentralization, giving decentralization is kind of whatever. Wonder about the lakes in Uganda. Like down here. This is an interesting thing, actually, because... Zimbabwe and, like, these guys, Kilwa is gonna be so insane now, because the problem with Kilwa before was all the jungles, but now you're gonna have this plus the rivers, plus you have some bonuses for Kilwa for being, like, brother, Kilwa is gonna go so hard. We might have to do a Kilwa campaign. I hate the lake buffs because the lakes are within locations and others connect them, and the location connectors are outrageously powerful. The ones within give no benefit. Yeah, basically. Yeah, like, I feel like these lakes should be a little bit more useful, but they're not. Alright, so let's go back to the main menu. And who else were we supposed to check in terms of content? We couldn't really look up Malacca and Malaya, Kurdistan, Manchu. We can look up Kurdistan, I think. The river map mode change is so bad. You look at the proximity of the Caspian? Oh, I didn't. It's gonna be insane, right? I think they probably should adjust province borders to make, like... I do not want them to be changing the map. I can't imagine that changing the map is like a trivial thing. There's so many things I'd rather see over changing the map. So do we have to be primary culture Kurd? Is there a primary culture Kurdish? Education. Cav power is real good considering the cavalry is bugged to be insane. Monthly dev in age 3? Let's go, baby. Kurds rise up. This is like such an interesting modifier because it's so bad later on because you don't get enough time to like make use of the dev. Tribal cohesion. And you're going step port every time, right? Caspian doesn't count, it's an inland sea. Oh, can you build navy, though? Yeah. Yeah, you're right. You can build navy there, though. But, like, this'll count, right? Oh, Timurids get even more buffed. This'll all count. Well, actually, you just kind of don't care what's going on with proximity with the Timurids, right? You're just like, oh, we're winning anyways. That's maybe not fair, but... Okay. So we looked at some of the countries, and we confirmed that the river map mode is... Game player says, "Hi, Generalist, I hope you're doing well." We are not, because they removed the river map mode. They got rid of the river map mode. Stream's now banned in Turkey, basically. You mind checking what Malacca got? I tried to check. I don't know. I don't know who I need to switch to be able to check Malacca in-game. But I was not able to see. Oh. We have to... I think the UI could be a little bit better in this regard. But we have to switch over the thing. But if anyone knows who we have to play Malacca, why'd they remove it? I have no idea. I'm actually just like super... I use that map mode so much. I mean, like, it's not that big a deal. I just install a mod, but like, I don't understand. Yeah. I think that they did it to make the game look more polished, maybe. I think that anyone who was looking up the river map mode anyways was prepared for the lack of polish, so... Like, you literally have to set it to a hotkey, like... You can use the any religion... You have to be Muslim in Malaysia? Okay. Muslim tag and... Let's see if there's a Muslim tag. We can't swap, though, yeah. But Aru is already Muslim. I guess it was too hard to make a rat road and easier to delete it entirely. Well, it's gonna be still in, like, debug version. I can't imagine they, like, wholesale got rid of it, but, like... I think they just made all the debug map modes not available, but, like, a lot of people are actually using the river map mode, I feel like, and so, like, I honestly... So here's the thing, I honestly feel like I was one of the few people using the river map mode. Like, in its entirety. And that's why, like, no one cared. I think, yeah, I don't know. A lot of the other content creators weren't using the river map mode. They changed this so this doesn't brick Iron Man? That's crazy. Maybe it's because Iron Man's already bricked because we swapped countries. Finally caught you online. River map mode is super necessary. That's kind of what I thought. I guess Connor would probably, I assume, would also be using the river map mode, yeah. I was just thinking the ones who arrived, you were at the, like, later flight. You know? The earlier content creators, no one was using it. Excuse me? Oh. Whoops. Yeah, that does break Iron Man. Alright. Cool, 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 cool. Mashallah. Do we need to wait? I'm still not seeing Malaya or Malacca. I don't know the requirements. Why would you use it if you can see rivers on the map? Because you can't always see rivers on the map. Topo and tactical. I use tactical map mode on constantly. Is that also bricked? Wait, what? No, it's not bricked. Alright. Okay. I'm having, like, an existential crisis over the river map mode. I assume Malaya's the territory north of Singapore, not just, not in Java, north of Singapore. Okay. Let's try that, actually. We looked at these guys before, but we're thinking we have to flip them Sunni. They are Malay culture. Okay, there we go. Okay. Settle the islands. Colonial maintenance. Fair. People of the sea. What about the chicken of the sea? But okay. Foreign building costs minus... That's hot. So you don't need to go, like, a republic to get that. Trade range used overseas. That's a lot of trade range used overseas. Navy maintenance. Cloves output. Ayo. Okay. This... I think stacks additively with the Spice Islands, which is just an absolutely insane source of it, but plus 500%. But for all the other places, plus 33%, right? So going from 500% to 533% is, like, not that big a deal, but okay. Malaya is going to be on the radar, especially because the roads now bricking vegetation specifically is so good for, well, let's just actually look at the map mode. I feel so dumb when I look for the actual map modes down here, because I always use the hotkeys. But like Orissa, nice buff. Southeast Asia, huge buff. Here you get a lot of your proximity through the water anyways, so it's not necessarily too great, but definitely buff. Huge buff to like Africa in this region, so I think Kilwa is going to be sweet. Also here, and Mali, just big buff over there. Buff to the Americas, generally speaking, because you're going to actually be able to get decent amount of proximity, because a lot of these lands are flat, like, but the really, really rough vegetation, like, that's kind of what made America, like, unplayable. But now, if you just look at topography, now this is the only map mode you care about, right? Because you're going to eventually have roads everywhere. And that completely opens everything up. We might have to do a video on new proximity, like, specifically. Because I think this is a big enough deal that, like, it completely changes the way you think of stuff. Like, North Germany's so much better than it used to be. Because there used to be a ton of forest there. I mean, there's still a ton of forest. Well, maybe not anymore, but much better. Russia's, like... Russia, if they, like, lose some procs, but then they, like, build through the roads, like, it's, like, a wash, right? Like, if they were having to go through a bunch of forests, but now they don't, but then they lose, like, 20% of their procs, it's, like, the same thing. I think Russia, like, repeatedly got nerfed, and then, like, there was a bunch of stuff that was just, like, a wash. And they're probably still going to be able to do 100%. But India, specifically, also a really big deal, because they had the vegetation on the externals. Stay winning, India. Like, this is the jungle on the outside, like, made it so you couldn't get proximity towards the outside. Now that's just gone, so. Stay winning. Minus 20% trade range overseas is a really big buff, yeah. Any Ethiopia changes? Well, the fact that there's, very little... Oh, well, actually... Ethiopia's terrain rather than vegetation. I assume they're still getting their, like, 20% proximity. Nobody's pointed out that Ethiopia gets 20% proximity, I feel like, so I feel like it would not have gotten nerfed. But maybe it did. And you can still stack at least minus 30% from other sources for Russia, yeah. I think you can make it, yeah. Like, they gave, like, plus 15% land procs on the same patch where they nerfed Russia immediately, and it was just like the biggest wash ever. How's Novgorod with the vegetation changes? That region entirely should be good. Interesting bug, deploy edicts cost reduction is inverted, so researching 10% actually increases it, so Russia's even more nerfed. Womp womp. Makes most places better and some exceptional. Is this chat real? I don't know, is it? Okay. Rebalancing proximity, reducing some sources, making rivers and roads, making lakes and rivers impactful. Rivers were already impactful. We would check this out, but we are lacking a map mode with which to check it. I'm so pressed. That's like my favorite map mode, like, actually. God damn it. It's like my favorite child was murdered by Paradox Interactive. Okay, the market access thing is, like, very interesting, as well. This is gonna be a big deal. Don't mention the procs thing. Yankees fan says as he slides 5 under the table. Thank you so very much, my guy. He just slides it under the table. You didn't see Ethiopia's procs. We won't even check it on stream. I'm pretty sure it's going to be the same. Manchu, we didn't check. New government. Sokoto, we checked. Italy, we checked. Malaya, we checked. Malacca, we couldn't check. I'm not sure how we checked Malacca. Kurdistan, we checked. Manchu, we didn't check. But okay, let's continue on. Why did they murder it? I think they just murdered all of the map modes that were not in the bottom bar, like the DevTool map modes. Like, they just said, okay, you can't access them anymore unless you're in debug mode. Which is not that big a deal. I think most of the map modes you wouldn't use, except for the river map mode, I think everyone used. Or not everyone, but like everyone who watches my channel. I don't know. You're not supposed to have a favorite child, you know? That is a lie that parents tell, yeah. My precious map mode, someone says mocking me, yeah. Market villages are going to be very interesting now, yeah. The market village, which is like losing you money. Market villages are going to be really interesting now because, okay, eventually market villages actually have a negative effect on your economy. And the negative effect they have on your economy is that you care after a certain point about input efficiency, and they're not very input efficient. And they're a drain on your economy. However, in places where you have like a premium, like gold or silver, you'll obviously want to max out the market villages. I have 3 kids that definitely have a favorite. All 3 kids know it. Good. The favorite is mom. The favorite is mommy. More favorite once you have a 4th and a 5th kid. Okay. Ruler must be a road, now allows female. Correct, fixed cognatic. Magna Carta gives some combat levy efficiency. Magna Carta sucked really hard, so this seems fine. They also wanted to buff England, I think, because England like now really sucks at the 100 Years' War with their new boat changes. Enforcing culture on a subject will cancel their attempts to assimilate into other cultures. This is probably a good thing. Fiefdoms and dominions no longer pump up the stats of the ruler. There was a content creator who was really emphatic about this. I think this is a good change, though. Reduce OP Byzantine conscription from insanity into decent. Seems fine enough. I left a comment not too long ago saying I would love a talk on villages because they're most misunderstood building type. Yeah, I mean, I think the farming village was the best before, but probably not anymore. Farming village has always been pretty decent. Yeah, the farming villages does stuff that urban areas can't do. Might take a break until they sort out the bugs. Well, you can play on 1.0.8. I, like, honestly, I would just keep playing on the same patch and then update the patch, like, when you want to start a new run. But, like, honestly, I either need to get a mod or I need to get, just continue playing on the patch, because the river map mode I actually do not want to play without. Revisions to population demands, balance state economies. Alright, so I'm assuming the intention is to have fewer estates be underwater, increase strength of navies, anti-piracy by a large amount. Noble Recruitment Center is now giving 25 nobles, not 250. Forget who gets this. Is this the India building? Remove the impact of trade economic base and instead restore trade maintenance to its intended size. Wasn't this last patch? I feel like this was last patch. I feel like this was last patch. Don't want to spoil the run for you guys. We're already like 2 episodes ahead. But, speaking as a parent, no shit, I have a favorite kid. Which kid changes on how nice they've been to me recently, though. That's a good way of telling it to your kids. That way they jockey for your attention until they're teenagers, and then they don't. Then you're wrong about everything. I've dealt with so many kids, like, teaching after-school chess programs that, like, it's so crazy to me that, like, kids from the same parent can be so wildly different. One day they'll uncap it. But okay. Trade income, I think, is somewhat low. Lower than it was before, maybe? Oh, this was a stupid country to check on, because we're getting... No, base price still... This is the same as it was in 1.0.8. It was 0.05. I don't know why we had to load in on this to check that, but... I'm just, like... I'm flustered, okay, chat? Like, when the really cute girl you have a crush on talks to you, and you don't know what to say, it's that, but in the reverse, because they removed the river map mode. So, yeah. This is last patch. I also thought that happened in 1.0. Yeah, it did. I think they're just, like, repeating themselves. Coming in late, but I'm hearing about the river map mode. You're playing on 1.0.10 and can access the river map mode just fine. You have a mod, good sir. What's your chess elo? Not very good. Like, I think like 80% of my games I played, like, FIDE rated as, like, when I was a child. So, like, I think it's like 1400 or something, or 1200. Something like that. Yeah. I never showed a spreadsheet to a kid when teaching, and I'm not irresponsible like that. Pop demand for weaponry correctly checks. Paved roads and later are better paths for market access. I kind of, like, this is combined with a change where, it now just uses the best one, so this is, in my mind, kind of like effectively a nerf for rivers, because, the roads are a better substitute for rivers. Basically, in terms of the market access. And so, they said that they buffed rivers, and I think they've been nerfed effectively. Market villages add burgers, which is kind of an interesting one. It will make taxing the burgers even better earlier on now. And you will also be able to get burger tax, where you have those insano RGOs. So burger max taxes and modifiers is just going to get better. Market access uses the best of upstream river, downstream river, or road connection instead of weird combination. This is why I think rivers are a bit nerfed. So not only do they throw him into the dirt, they kick him while he's down. When a cute girl asks me out, and I ask her what she thinks about Paradox removing the river map mode, and that will inform me if I will go out with her. A man of taste and culture. How dare you not show spreadsheets to the children? How dare you? This is an 81 Honda. How dare you? Colonial charters will not benefit if the colonial maintenance is 0. That's spectacular. I didn't realize that it did. A lot of trade-related buildings now improve local market access. I think that is probably a little bit too much on the market villages, but okay. Rebalanced well, actually, whatever it is, we'll just play around it. Rebalanced a few stacking development benefits. Okay, reduced a few ways to stack prosperity gains. Jeez, I just released a video about, like, the best tech in the age. Oh, so one thing about the constantly updating game that's, like, kind of frustrating is making videos for the game. Because I literally released a video, like, 10 hours ago about decentralized bureaucracy, and I swear to God... Oh my God. Okay. You got us. You got us, Captain. For those of you who don't, like, memorize the game offhand, it has been nerfed by 60%. Alright, let's see what our sources are. Still have Carthaginian government instead of, like, listing the actual sources. So... on this patch, we haven't moved on over to it yet, but... Yeah. Oh, but they buffed market fairs to this outer space. What? I mean, you still go decentralized bureaucracy. I'm... I feel a little confused. They... left this alone. So they moved it onto market fairs instead? Is this to make going centralized better? Is that the idea? Because I swear to God this was 0.1 before. And so they just traded spaces. This also gives decentralization trend. Okay. Maybe I'm not seeing the full picture. That seems... Sorry for your pain, me too. Market village spam has always has been. It slows down your economy as you enter later ages. It's like bad later. It's kind of okay early on. When you get the upgraded version of anything that the market village is building, it becomes bad. So prosperity is still super strong? It's pretty good, yeah. The point is that it was basically super easy EV. Just finished watching the text video before seeing the stream. Bureaucracy tech was number 2 due to decentralized being as it was, yeah. Bureaucracy was number 1. So, yeah. Market fares was the same on 1.0.8. Are you sure? Okay. Maybe we should make a Word document that makes this easier to track. Chat rise up. Alright. What's the hotkey to paste with a Control-Shift-V? Alright. Alright, let's add some of these. This is gonna be, like, actually a really big deal. We have to, like, think through and play a little bit on that. New features for some of these. This is probably not worth highlighting. This is, like, from last patch, so... Rivers overall just getting kicked to the nuts. Can't even see him now. Rough vegetation now slows down oh, so this is interesting. So if this is sufficiently large, road build speed is actually going to be highly relevant. This is going to make some places insane. Kilwa is we're going to do a Kilwa run next, I think. I think that we already highlighted the proximity, yeah. Market ranges check different coastlines. This is something that I didn't know exactly what was the problem, but we were like, hey, why does our stuff go in this direction instead of this direction? And it's because Alexandria was only checking one coast. Alexandria being, like, probably the most important market in the game. It's 0.25 on 1.9? Okay. You're right on the river map mode. I got better road builder mod installed, but just having that on unlocks the map mode. Yeah, they did remove the river map mode. So the way that they nerfed rivers is by making the river bonus and the road bonus mutually exclusive. You decrease the importance of the river bonus, and also they super buffed the impact of roads on it, so which, like, I think I mean, rivers are still gonna be useful, but, like, I think that this is, like, not I think that upstream for rivers is roads are always better than upstream on river, and I don't think that comports with from a simulation perspective. I don't think that comports with reality. Moving stuff via barge is easier, or it's easier to move stuff via barge than it is on a gravel road, man. Like, Japan is kind of what? Not necessarily worth playing right now. At least I don't feel obligated to expand downriver now. Yeah. Alright. Can no longer build worse forts and locations with better ones. I wish that you could build, like, not the best fort, because sometimes you actually want lower maintenance, like a lower level fort. I really don't like that they force you to just use the best fort. You now have to research Patron of the Arts to advance to commission art. Fiefdoms, dominions, state banks no longer change religion on their own. A religion and culture, a country list gets updated properly. Tweaked a lot of bonuses to prop growth that can stack quite high. This is probably worth highlighting, but we haven't seen what this is actually yet. Control-Shift-V. Okay. Cultures that have 0 pop will no longer cost any cultural upkeep. Nice. So if you fully convert someone, they will no longer cost maintenance. Fix something to this effect. Fix a siege. Current siege is a peace acceptance to be calculated when the peace offer was sent to the demand offering. Fix the start annexation diplomatic costs being visible on subjects that were already being annexed. That's nice. Asking for money caps at 4 asks the asker's tax base. Nice, 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 nice. This has always been like kind of a silly, a silliness that you could just squeeze so much money from people early on. Proximity through lakes is huge. Yeah, if you're in chat and you want to check in game, it's absolutely insane in Sweden. Aren't still useless? Yeah. They haven't managed to stop the settlement in a province expel trick yet for massive pop growth. I'm not sure how worth it that is in terms of the cabinet, actually, because you also have to appreciate, like... I'm not sure how worth it that is. Like, when you are getting a ton of pop growth in a really, really low pop area, you're applying a really high percentage to a really, really low flat number. Like, it's definitely more pop growth, but it's not necessarily, it's not like you're applying 1% in your capital where you have 500,000 pops. Isolating from allies now requires you to be allied. Kind of this is probably a good change. Relatively small, but okay. Seizing territory from your subjects makes the location conquer. Thank God! This was also like a play pattern that we weren't like indulging in too much. But the seizing territory on cooldown was like the theoretically correct way of doing it. Can now see locations through corridors. I'm not sure what that means. No longer can give claims to our own CBs for heirs. Failure to give adequate land and treaty and peace deal will hit a trust rather than a trust bonus. Whoops. Violating sovereignty not instantly cancelled. Nice. Subjects break free. Alright. Alright, alright, alright. Okay, okay. Did I hear Persia changes? You heard Kurdistan changes. You heard Kurdistan changes, I believe. Which, I feel like, saying that one way or the other is gonna offend somebody. I wonder how they applied the tax limit request on Shinto gold. As, Shinto Korea, I could regularly, request a 50k gold. Yeah. Shinto Korea is, like, so bonkers. I've been meaning to make a video on this. I just haven't had time. You missed something important about marriages? Really? I mean, I don't know if I think that this is super, super important. I don't think that that's worth highlighting. So you couldn't give internal Sahara to anyone? Ah, corridors in the Sahara. Got it, got it. That's actually a change I requested. I was like, I left feedback about this. I was like, hey, I'd really love to give this to a subject. I can't. It was really obnoxious. Swedish Lakes prosperity is crazy. Yep. Prosperity? You mean proximity? They gutted prosperity? Yeah, they gutted the bureaucracy law. Limited the marriage rules. I'm not sure I see that. We balance how good levies are with decent progression through the ages. Alright. I feel like this is, from a guide making perspective, this, like, the constant change is, like, difficult. Because, like, when I'm making a video, I'm like, here's how it is right now. Tomorrow, who knows? But also, they're, I think, approaching the correct balance, so it's hard to be too upset about it. Battles will now start with a minimum of 125% frontage in all sections. All other units go to reserves. Womp womp. Get wrecked, you overstackers. We've been advocating overstacking for a while now. I was the person who initially reported that overstacking, like, completely invalidated initiative, because it basically did. You just super overstacked boxes, and then everyone would roll to get in, and so you would just instantly occupy the fronts, basically on the first tick, if you had a sufficiently large amount of guys, and now you're not going to be doing that. Reduce frontage bonus from defensive societal values. Was frontage on defensive? Don't you? Isn't this quantity? It's above Diplo. Prox cost is now worthless. Can only marry close relatives now. Oh yeah. You can't just go after your entire nation trying to. Oh, we were just about to check something in game. What were we about to check? Frontage, got it. Because quantity gave frontage. Did it used to give 25%? Now it's 10%? Is that what is going on? Frontage is still one of the best modifiers in the game. I think quantity is still better, but he says as he has quality in his game, because it doesn't matter. Alright. Yeah. I think it was 20 or 25% before. That's a good nerf. It was kind of, yeah. Defensive never had frontage, it was quantity, yeah. Like 2.5% isn't worth much. No, but they didn't nerf the other gov types, so they only nerfed monarchies, like proximity thing. It was 25%, yeah. The thing is like, yeah, we make a video and we're like, this is the best thing to do, and then it immediately gets nerfed. Eventually, there has to be a best thing that settles as the best thing and it not being problematic. Although I do think specifically, it was like not close, not remotely close. Like quantity was just way better than quality, and I think it's probably still is, but we'd have to take a closer look. Alright, fixing some bugs, drilling, now forced 100% maintenance. Or actually... Let's, it's not defensive. Kind of the important ones. Maybe I should spend a little bit more time there so you can pause if you're on the YouTube. Threshold recruiting a new group of levies is 20% instead of 50% recovery. Garrison recovery ticks are on daily ticks, not on monthly, but slower. Armies now take damage to morale from attrition instead of gaining it. Okay. War score correctly calculated for vassals. Maritime presence doesn't clear itself incorrectly anymore. Oh, this is nice. This has been an annoying bug for forever. Colonial keep their source location. Oh, so this is something that was working like early on that like stopped working, but it's like the source is like really good for increasing dev. Okay. Like, now, it used to just, like, apply for, like, 1 month and then go... Or it used to always apply, and then it applied for, like, 1 month and then it went away. It was a really good source of dev before, and this was, like, months and months ago. And then it, like, stopped working, and now it works again. Excuse me? Alright. Claims, CBs now include the claimants, so you have to install specific people. Cool. Disease resistance gets transferred from old country to new country, and now you won't have a bunch of people die in disease. Remove the tweak the calculation for upstream, downstream rivers. We'd love to check this. We'd love to check this. Unfortunately, we don't know where the rivers are. Oh my god. Oh my god. We can remember where rivers are. We've not forgotten the face of our father. So it's paved road. Actually, okay. The rivers are better downstream, so we have to look at, like, Alexandria. Oh my god, where is a place that has an upstream river capital here? Alright, okay, cool. Yeah. So it's still 30, okay. It's still 30. He has forgotten where the rivers are, has forgotten the face of his father. Frontage is just the strongest yeah. We have, this is something. Tactical show them quite well for the rivers. Yeah. Made up. Heritage now costs government power, generals, army tradition. Government power? Wait, what? The fuck is government power? Wait, what is government power? Am I going crazy? Legitimacy? Got it. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. I think it already cost it for republics. Okay, yeah, legitimacy. What is government power? Alright, content. Tweak dynamic localization, separated all lakes from the sea. Forming Belgium also considers the regions of the Brabant. Added Dyes Guild, Chinese town and city to make lacquerware industry function. Probably still worth disabling them all. Roof French guarantee of Scotland at the start. Added truce. Added a truce between Portugal and Castile 6 months before the real date due to gameplay reasons. The gameplay reasons were those reasons that Castile just stomps Portugal every game? Were those the reasons? Probably trying to remove some of scaling costs. Okay, that were weird. I mean, you'd rather pay the gold than the, like, legitimacy, because it will take you more gold to recover the legitimacy. They nerfed Russia and Muscovy, but they still forgot the renamed Ruthenian ones that still give the old buffs. So you're just Ruthenian instead. They just make them have the good stuff initially. Alright, fair enough. London starts with Dock, nice. A lot of this stuff's not going to be worth highlighting, and it's just like, you know. Removing locations. Rise of the Turks will no longer accidentally end if the primary contender due to civil war. Yeah, that's nice. Takes into account France is having a regent in the event's description. Yeah, we're not reading all of these out loud because they're just like relatively small, but like going to be good, but very specific. Multiplying the AI's willingness to use the don't use it at all. This is actually such a nice little buff. They just like don't. They're like prestige. We'll just let it to decay to 0 because we don't give a shit. And now they'll use it, I guess. I mean, one of the problems is they just generally don't have prestige because I don't think they pay for the sliders. So however willing they are, it's probably not actually affecting it too much. But okay. Castilian War, succession disasters. Teenagers and children will no longer read spreadsheets. Good. I'm glad we resolved that. I haven't played enough in the HRE to really appreciate if this is like a really nice change, but I assume it maybe is. Maybe we'll highlight it. Probably worth mentioning. Like, these are changes I'm okay with. The, like, more broad, like, balance changes, I wish they would just hold off for, like, a different, like, patch, like the entire proximity rework. Or not necessarily for a different patch, but, like, not in a row with several patches. I guess maybe that's just easier, it's probably easier from a dev perspective. Kiev still gives the old Russian buffs. And doesn't really know how to manage Columbrian exchange, probably similar to how they didn't know how to trade in New World goods into the Old World on intention. I always have to seed Europe with Chile's tobacco, yep, to kickstart demand so that other people say it. AI currently goes ham with no CB wars, while everyone was complaining that AI was passive. Yeah, HRE always voted with me in your boho game 100% of the time. Interesting. England can buy out France's vassals. Haven't that always been a thing? Do they just not do it? Is the AI? Alright. Fixed events. We're just skimming through most of these pretty quick. Because there's a lot of them. And, huh. Well, hopefully I'm not scrolling you guys into not being able to see. A historical option for a flavor set, so AI chooses getting gold as RGO. I guess they weren't sometimes. Like at the start of the game, like Serbia gets an event to make silver. The discovery of gold and silver mines is like an interesting one. Reforming Imperial armor. Yeah. Hello, chat. Hello, RNG. Cheaper to jump into a lake from a lake to the donation and directly board an old location. Yeah, Sweden just gets like this weird like conga line of lakes that's like insane. I think that maybe they shouldn't get the bonus both going into and out of the lake, but I guess that's... I mean, it feels like it's a huge proximity thing. This was present in another spot, this like getting a CB and then not having time to use it. It was for Poland on the Teutonic Order. Guns of Rival no longer targets deceased children. Terrible. This is probably... Well, like, we're highlighting this just because Korea is so good, and the Hosian code is an insane thing, if I recall correctly. We'll not double check it, but... The government reform Malian tribute system is changed to a non-major reform. Doesn't give +1 gov reform. I'm trying to remember this. I feel like I should. I don't think that's the name of the reform you have locked in as Mali, which is like probably actively bad. Right. Naval also impacts lake travel. Yeah. Just saw that exports now spreads institution. Yes, it's going to be very. That's a huge change because it's way easier to get exports than imports. Way easier. You're scaring the Hosian. Yeah. And unique government names. Commander of the War, we already read through that. Adopting Anatolian Balak now makes you eligible. Does this mean anyone can get access to the Rise of the Turks? Is this insane? If this means anyone can gain access to, if this means anyone can get access to the Rise of the Turks situation by swapping Turkish... I think you get all the Ottoman content. Is this like kind of a bug fix that just like means like as you just culture flip Turkish and you just become one of the Beyliks and you get all the content? Tarkus buff? GG nerf? Basically. They took away the river map mode. It's like, have you heard of the tale of Samson and Delilah? It's like when Samson gets his hair cut off. My hair's been cut off. My river map mode was my hair. What will I do now? Ooh, this is a nice little buff to that. Remote integration only applied to like one location, now it applies to an entire province and is more likely to occur based on integration. This is actually going to make it so having one province integrating like constantly, even if your subject expanding, is probably worth. Hey there, Delilah, what's it like? And I just shaved my head. For a half second, I was about to play the song on stream just because vibes, and then I was like, oh wait, we forgot how DMCA works. Council of 10, Venetian government reform no longer takes a reform slot. Merchant Republic no longer locked forever. I feel like maybe we're highlighting this because we're playing Venice, and like for us it's like more important than it actually is. Byzantium conformed the Roman tag. Oh, the ERE people will be so mad. The Bizaboos. What do you mean you conform Rome? It's already Rome. We're gonna put this in here for the joke. Ah! That's a big buff for the centralization expansion meta. I mean, I think it's just you... I think you just expand via subjects. You just always have one entire province that's conquered. I mean, if it increases in frequency, I guess it's a buff, but, like, I really don't think it's... Look, expansion via subjects is just so much better, and it's, like, not close. YouTube police would come down at you harder than Delilah? True. Which one is the river map mode? The one that highlights all the provinces Blue River? Because it works for me on the beta patch. Or is there another map mode you've been missing out? Do you have a mod? There are mods that turn it on. What do you mean it can't form Rome? It's already Rome. Yeah, the Bizaboos are rising up. Or, as they like to call themselves, the Eastern Romaboos. Eastern Roman Empire boos. They really just love saying syllables. Signora Venice is no longer a major reform. Okay. Can properly be formed by owning certain locations. Did we just not check the right locations? Maybe we take a quick look in-game? I know we've tried to look like several times now. We need to do this. To be fair, Majapahit now owns more locations in our save file here. Expanding via subjects is still the best, to be honest. Yeah, that's kind of what I think. I don't think it's close. I think you just clearly go decentralization. There's so much stuff that's good that gets decentralization that, like, it's just like, I think it's like, I think they wanted to increase, I think they wanted to increase play variety, and I don't think that was, like, successful. I think they wanted to make both viable, because only centralization was viable before, and now it's like, now it's just the opposite, and centralization isn't viable. Maybe, I mean, like, my sample size is small, though. Maybe I'm just, like, completely off base, but just, like, one of the crux of the issues is it's not just picking one or the other, it's the fact that there's a bunch of good stuff that you want that gives decentralization, like decentralized bureaucracy with the changes. To be fair, decentralized bureaucracy just got hit with the nerf map, but like, you still want this 0.1 prosperity, and so you're gonna get progress towards decentralization. And there's so many things that do this, such that like it's a big opportunity cost to get to secure yourself a centralization trend. And I mean, we also have to like look at the events. But I just think it's, not worth. Decentralization is fine. It's not only fine, it's... that's like an understatement. I tried to do a big switch from subject expansion to centralization in 1600, and every war was 100% more annoying. Yeah. Yeah, I think... yeah. The offloading your cabinet actions to the way that they could change that is make it so that integrating a subject takes cabinet action or something like this, and just make it faster. But like the fact that you offload really hard cabinet actions to subjects is like really nice. You might want to go centralization for one reason, to get more crown power if you're stuck in court and country. I'd have to take a closer look at this. It's Josan. Thank you. You also must be like watching before because I hadn't said it in a while. So this thank you will be delayed for you. Appanages can no longer spawn outside French region. This is nice because, well, so France could go centralization because you could. This is kind of cute. It's just fiefdoms and vassals that contribute towards decentralization. So, like England can make dominions instead, and France could do appanages, but okay. Burger's estate doesn't like countries that are embargoing him. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Looks like they're giving, Here, we're gonna highlight this, because this is indicative of, like, a larger sense of, attitudes via your estates, and so this is gonna be nice. Just this entire thing. That your estates have opinions on countries is like a really good step in the direction of like making estates feel like they have agency and influence within the government. I think that it affects whether they use like improve relation harm opinion. It's not like a whole ton of stuff right now, but opinion on the plateau terrain, not a strong one. It's I don't know if it should be slightly rough, but it seems fine. It seems fine to me. I think it's where it should be. You're forced to choose weak modifiers now because of centralization trend. Now you just pick the strong modifiers and the trend you want. Yeah, I mean, I've talked about it in like other places, but like that's like the thing is the going centralization. You always went before. You would always go centralization, but the interesting part was picking and choosing how to get the centralization trend. So there was an interesting gameplay pattern. Now you just go decentralization 100% of the time, and you just pick all the stuff you want. And there's no decision points. There's no. The game is like they wanted to add decision, like they wanted to add like decision making choices, and instead they were reduced. Does the state attitude even do anything? I don't think it affects whether they use improve opinion or reduce opinion in Parliament. Not a whole lot, but yeah, centralization is still good, guys. I think if you ignore the fact that there's a bunch of stuff that you want to grab that gives you decentralization trend, especially the prosperity stuff, because now getting more. It used to be 0.2 prosperity was great and that was enough, but now you want to get way more prosperity, and almost all the prosperity stuff gives decentralization trend. Okay, so ships get balanced. Venetian printing industry now gives a bonus to paper and books instead of Diplo rep. This is kind of cute. We're not going to highlight it as much as I want to. Generalized, really? Alright, onboarding. Control around the capital will no longer require more than 100 control. Seems like a good change. Really want them to remove the cap of 10x to the trend so you can actually get to 100 somewhat consistently. I think this is a super intentional design choice, that they don't want you to just get 100 They want it to take like hundreds of years of like consistent effort utilizing the parliament. That's like the main thing that parliament's like interesting or good for. So like parliament's just been uber neutered repeatedly, and like if you take that away, like parliament feels bad, man. I legit feel like Paradox balanced things by giving them decentralization trend, and the decentralization trend just forgetting that they did that. That's kind of what I think as well. Like, or that's what it feels like. Or no, I think that people complained that it felt like it was never good to go decentralization, and then they're like, you know what, more choices are better, and then I preferred the system. I thought it was more interesting when you were fighting for your centralization trend and you just always went centralization. Supposedly the AI is going to be a lot more aggressive here. I think they made centralization too simple, like too easy to get a lot of centralization. Maybe. I mean, like, so here's the thing is, like, every single one of my starting steps video, I started out by pushing centralization because it was really important to push, and it was, like, unambiguously important, this type of thing. And, like, if you use every single tool possible, it's really easy to push something. Like, especially if there's a lot of values for it. There's not a lot of value trends for, like, quantity or, like, offense, defense, this type of stuff, but there is for, like, centralization. They didn't change anything, they just flipped it? No, because there aren't a bunch of good things that give centralization such that you, like, have to fight for your decentralization. Nor, like, could they even possibly give that much centralization stuff, because, like, you have to overcome, like, the plus 1.5 from subjects. Like, the amount that you get from subjects is just so much. Did they change Sea's land tech? The tech? Oh, you mean the tech is in, like, the strategy? Yeah, the strategy's super nerfed. It gives you conquered territory, which it always should have, so. Do you know how the demand for goods works? Been sending lacquerware to Europe for a while and no one wants to buy it. They have to see production of it. They have to have vision of it. So someone told me it was like they have to see at least 50 of it being produced, but it's not how much is entering their market, it's they have to see the production of it. Watch them cut prosperity from everything else, free subjects, so that you can get useless 100% happy peasants estate with 0% tax, decent and free privileges. Well, they already cut prosperity from some things, and yeah, now I think you go 100 free subjects, so the interesting thing of trying to fight for a serfdom trend is, like, I think that fighting for a serfdom trend is not worth it anymore. I like your comment regarding decentralization and people having gamer brain. It makes no real world sense, and it's certainly this way. So yeah, someone made a post suggesting that they make it, like, two different things. Like, one is your attitude, that you bifurcate the subject treatment and the governmental treatment. That, like, it's representing two things at once, and it shouldn't be. Do you know you can change the parliament types with the parliament button? Yes. I did not realize the parliament icon was a button until this version. Yeah, there's a couple, actually, things like that. There's a couple things like that. Well, we can't click it now, but this is also a button to change your election type. He's referring to this being a button. There's another thing where it is a, like, I mean, this is obviously a button too. And, like, a lot of people on release didn't realize that that was a button. You wanted more procs, admit it? No, I want procs to work different. I want it to work as an efficiency modifier, and then, yeah, like, the first procs you get to actually feel good, but, like, it to not have increasing marginal returns. Fixed an issue where AI didn't want to research in advance that unlocked a building when there was an upgrade available in the current age, even though they hadn't embraced the institution yet. I'm trying to think what example there is for that. And AI score for army levy size modifier. Wait, the AI wasn't considering levy size before? That's insane. Okay. It's an issue where AI would create border guard due to refusing to take locations with 0 score, even when nothing else, literally nothing else was available. Okay, so it adds score, basically, to something that was scoreless if it reduces score. I feel like people get really uppity about border gore. It's an issue where they were too quick to declare peace in wars they were clearly winning. Nice. No more, hopefully, giving them, what is it, sound tolls. Free sound toll, get out of the war quick scheme. AI will declare fewer wars if it has a lot of unintegrated land. Oh, this is cool. This makes some sense. AI will now improve relations with strong countries if they have no desire to attack, to reduce antagonism. Smart. Okay. Liking these changes. This is also good. They're giving free favors. AI will no longer forcefully relocate markets and peace deals. It's kind of a... That's, like, nice for QOL, but, like, the AI really should do that. That's, like, a strong mechanic. It's just, it leads to, like, really annoying-looking markets. Fixed an issue where AI would get stuck in a loop trying to attack a country they had military access to, but deciding against it due to high stab costs. Now they will break the military access. All these changes are great. Fixed an issue where they'd always peace out if they had occupied 100% of the enemy war leader instead of 100% of all enemies combined. Oh, interesting. Think that all antagonism peace treaties would be given to the war leader, leading to situations where they would take too few treaties. Ah. Everyone really cares about how much the Ottomans expand a lot, so let's highlight this. Somewhat reduced fort building priority. Lemon Cake will be pleased. I wonder if the people were whining about centralization even using the centralization trend as a resource. I assumed that they were. Pushing conciliatory is impossible. Yeah, with the... it's possible, but, like, it's difficult because when you're at war, you get, like, a bunch of extra belligerents, so you need a really fat trend. You have to, like, be super proactive about the way your estate privileges are. If centralization gave 100% integration speed and cabinet and 100% cabinet efficiency and 0.2 prosperity, maybe it'd just be viable. That would be insane. That's so much stuff you're putting on it. Because there's so many cabinet actions that are really good. Yeah, viable is like an understatement. That would be insane. Decentralization only matters if you plan on playing wide, no? Yeah, but That's correct, but your question is like, if you're playing RP, is the RP viable? And then it's like, well, like, the RP is always the RP. Like, the question of what's better is like, in a context when you're playing good. If they made expansion worse, then, you know, it would be worse. Like, if you're playing in a suboptimal way, then that yeah. The central versus decentralization debate is more debate about how insanely good cabinet slots are. Yeah, kind of. If you made it cost a cabinet action to integrate subjects, it would be a very quick, like, whiplash. Subjects affecting decentralization was a huge mistake. I kind of agree. I think even if they didn't do that, pushing decentralization would be better, but as it stands, it's actually very nice that it just instantly pushes you to 100. They need to see the production, yes. You can change parliament? Yep. Yarp. It's very important if you don't have the burghers in parliament. Personal union has a parliament too, yep. EU4 did it better. The main loyalty source were interactions where you asked less of your subjects or you gave them stuff. There's still a little bit of stuff like that, but not a lot. I thought your prox cost rework suggesting was amazing, making the increasing marginal return work against you instead of for you. Yeah. I mean, the fact that they keep... Well, in terms of things that they've rebalanced, proximity is the thing that they have rebalanced most over the course of the last 5 months, including, like, pre-release builds. And it's always, like, as long as you have discount modifiers, letting the player approach anywhere near over 50% discount will always cause balance problems in a really, really, like, substantive way. So you either have to make prox modifiers so few and so weak that you don't approach over this 50% mark, or, like, you're just gonna, like, constantly be rebalancing. Having proximity as a discount modifier makes any nation with access to them giga OP. Yeah, that's the only reason Russia's any good right now. It's the only reason Russia's any good. Yeah, I would not want to transport a fleet that was even slightly damaged. Yeah. Yeah, I will not keep empty regulars when consolidating units to prevent costly rebuilds after war. Let's maybe highlight both of these. But, like, really loving the AI changes here. Like, these are all, like, really good. Well, actually, I don't care as much about the border gore stuff, but I still think it's good. I just think it's, like, to me, that's, like, not an issue like it is to some people. They just get absolutely feral about it. Isn't border gore historic? Somewhat. I think I know why they removed the river map. Now it includes lakes and crosses into seas. It looks, now it includes lakes and crosses into seas. Also looks scuffed. Okay. I mean, it looked kind of scuffed before. The more scuffed it looks, the more I like it, to be honest. I low-key think it's, like... I like the joke of it's the hidden forbidden map mode, and it's just, like, this horrifying... It's like the stepchild with the, like, with, like, 3 heads that you keep in the cupboard so that no one knows they exist. You know what I mean? Can you change your notes to dark mode? Because every time you switch, it's literally a flashbang. Can you... Is there dark mode for Google Docs? I didn't even know there was dark mode for Google Docs. I can. I think that's something I would do off stream, though. But I would love to see prox cost come off centralization and give basically anything else. This is well, I mean, like, I nerfing centralization right now seems pointless because there's, like, there's no reason to go it right now anyway. Wouldn't centralization nerf just make decentralized countries disproportionately better at conquest? Yeah. What's the best late game units? England has... One of the issues is initiative isn't that good. But if initiative were like good at all, England would have the best late game unit because they have infantry that gets... well, actually, even without the initiative, they have a heavy infantry unit that gets a massive flanking bonus as if it were cavalry, and then it also simultaneously like gets +10 to initiative or some like crazy ass like thing. Yeah, they keep dancing around proximity every way except addressing prox cost being a discount. This is 100% my. Yeah, this is what I think, and this is like I've left feedback on this in a lot of places, such that I'm like not gonna leave any more feedback. Like, but yeah. So Russia got gutted in the ground. How much proximity cost did they take off of Russia? Someone I think said it was like 30%, which like is still fine because you could still get to -100%. Well, actually, maybe not with the 5% reduction or the 7.5% reduction to the proximity from monarchy. The fact that they nerfed monarchy's source of proximity and not theocracy or republic seems like a big oversight too. Roads, rivers, lakes, terrain, vegetation, centralization, decentralization, they keep circling around proximity. Yeah, the thing is completely overhauling the mechanic. It's just this massive, like, thing. But, like, that's why I wish they would just keep what they have and rework the entire system. But, like, before release, I said I don't want them to rework it before release because it's too big a project. But now we're post-release. So they can just cook for forever, just, like, in the background. There's a Chrome extension for dark mode. I use Edge, my guy. I'm using Edge because I'm edgy, because I'm an edgelord. I was protesting Google for some reason, and now I can't remember why, but I continue to use Edge. Centralization seems to be the #1 thing that should give prox cost, says Connor. I'm inclined to... Yeah, I think I agree. Yep. Yeah. But, like, this guy's trying to balance, I think, some of it. They made stacking proximity have diminishing returns. It would solve so many issues they're trying to balance around. This is what I've been saying for forever. This is what I mean when I say it's an efficiency modifier. You make it instead like every from location to location you get 5 points towards movement or something like this, or like every point you spend towards movement reduces the proximity of the location downstream. And then you make that cost multiplied by 1 over 1 plus x, where x is your proximity bonus. So if you have plus 100% proximity efficiency, you would get half cost. If you have plus 200%, you'd get a third cost. If you have plus 300%, you'd get a fourth of the cost. And what it means is for every plus 100%, you can go exactly one more location over with the same... like base cost or whatever. But it would involve reworking the entire system and every single modifier. But at this point, they've reworked every single modifier. So like, yeah. 2 hours to get notes on the update? Nope. What? This is live stream. We're reading through it together. Yeah. This is not a pre-recorded thing. Try Brave browser. Edge is based on Chrome. No. Edge is just rescreened Chrome. No. Alright, improve localization legend keys for situation map mode. Peace treaty map mode shows unit markers. They just hid the fact that they hid the... What's this about? Bro, the biggest thing is you remove the river map mode. Okay. I'm not sure how much we want to read through UI updates. State satisfaction on the top bar is red if it's under 50. This is actually a nice change. There's going to be a lot of good changes, but like, This is not something that affects strategic decision making. Unless they improve, like, the way that something clicks. To be fair, some of the changes that they've made are, like, or one of the changes they made is super nice in terms of how the building thing is organized, so maybe we should actually, like, read through this, like, in a skim sort of way. Macro builder, this is like the big one. This is the one we were looking for. These are the two big ones. These are the ones they showed off in the dev diary yesterday, but... Fix road builder and RGO, text being out of bounds. Diplomacy list showing incorrect number. Just kind of a lot of fixes that are not too crazy. Added pie chart to the outliner entry of the convert province outline. That's probably good. A lot of tooltip changes. I assume the tooltip changes will not affect gameplay really. So we're gonna skip through these. Proof concept for tax efficiency. Geez, one chatter just says this could have been an email, and suddenly we're trying to go through it faster. But I do think that this is probably something that people don't want to read through. So, 3D art. Norway, Denmark, Indonesia thing, too, hasn't been advertised as much, but it's still very game-breaking. Yeah, but that's like, one of them is you're playing normal as Russia and you get minus 100%, and the other is you have psychosis and you're going Norway into Denmark into XY thing and taking the Mandate of Heaven. Like, one of those is like a normal gameplay pattern, one of those is silliness. I posted the Malacca country bonuses screenshot section of the Discord. Alright, did you tag me? No. But you said it was in screenshots. Alright, so I'll just read this out loud. The Malacca tree gives tradition and influence both 10% cultural. Maritime presence decay minus 0.2, nice modifier. Trade efficiency 2.5%, it's an okay modifier. Diplo rep plus 2, we do like those. Yeah, let's put a little heart on it. Trade income plus 10%. Trade income plus 10% is an insano modifier. We love that. And then they get the Shah Ben Daria, which gives plus 20% trade capacity. And that's the one that was given to Sweden accidentally. That we showed like earlier in the stream. So. Okay. Kurt. Bravia is the easiest ad blocker. I would be a massive hypocrite if I used ad blocker. I've like never used ad blocker and not been particularly interested in it, but like I just like at this point I would also just like I can't use an ad blocker. It's too much of a cognitive dissonance thing. Paradox promised no more modifier stacking until they started working on Project Caesar. I think there's way less modifier stacking. Like, you know who really doesn't allow modifier stacking is, well, I mean, there's edge cases of it, but like Vic 3, there's like not a lot of modifier stacking. Whole centralization nerf is pretty stupid. They made prosperity gain stacking important, and all the sources are on decentralization. It's a no-brainer. Yeah. The conjunction of the prosperity changes with the centralization changes also is like, even if they didn't change anything, it would have been a lot harder to go centralization. And there's the mini game of like how to figure it out. I think if they didn't change decentralization, centralization at all, you would have still gone centralization, but it would have been harder because you would have gone for all the prosperity stuff. Control F for a hidden map. There should be better sources of proxy capital locations not as important. I think I disagree, but a lot of people have this opinion. Your opinion. They should make prox cost multiplicative instead of additive to fix it. That way 10% prox cost always reduces your proximity by 10%. They could make them multiplicative. Making them 1 over 1 plus x has a similar effect, I think, as making them multiplicative. If I'm not mistaken. I think some countries can push centralization early and it's kind of worth it. The thing is expansion's too good for you not to want to expand, and then you expand for your subjects is just way better. Can we make a remake? We don't talk about Bruno till we don't talk about the river map mode. The rhymes would still work, would they? Give towns a source of proximity? I'm not a fan of that. Generalist expelling population is just bad because of RGOs. I've never been a fan of the expelling, or the people who are talking about expelling pop just to get more pop growth. I think is just like, I think that's, you're spinning your wheels a little bit. But these are like bug fixes and miscellaneous, not, so this is kind of what we have in terms of the big changes. Cordoba isn't the best place to keep your capital in. Control F for the hidden map. Control F for us is... Oh, you mean with vanilla things? Control F for us is integration map mode. But we're skimming through the comments, trying to kind of get down here. I wish there was more incentive for players to choose your typical capital locations. There's no reason to pick St. Petersburg. I think St. Petersburg is an okay location for a capital, to be honest. But you get bonuses for keeping it in Moscow, so, like, yeah. The infamy against unrecognized powers modifier stacking in Vic 3 is absurd. That's true. That's true. That's extremely strong. I agree with that. And then, like, one of the, like, really absurd parts is when you stack it with, they don't own the province, or they don't have cores on the province, or it's not integrated. I forget what the nomenclature is on that, but, like, you just, like, get the locations for basically free. So the like, stupid thing where you, like, feed all of Mexico to the Indian territories before annexing the Indian territories is just, like, monstrously silly. I feel like giving Russia a second capital to model St. Petersburg would be better than minus 100% prox cost. Yeah, they already do that in a couple... They do that with England. England has, like, the capital up in York or whatever, the second capital thing. You could do that. Let's jump into game real quick, I guess. But we're right now we're like reading through some of the discussion. We got through the entirety of the patch. Or maybe we want to keep it here where we have like kind of the more important elements here highlighted, so the people who are joining late can read it. I guess that's probably better. Hey, thank you, Erica. Thank you for the resub. Big nice. Much appreciated. Wait, are you subbed to the Twitch and... You're subbed to the Twitch and you're a member? Thank you, I appreciate it. That's the... You don't have to do both. I mean, I guess you don't have to do either, because that's, like, how that works. Thank you, I appreciate it. What's your opinion on a mission tree-like system that outlines how to get specific government reforms and country-specific events? Wait, I got a notification. I got the baboop for resub. Why did I get the... Oh, it was an hour ago. God damn it. Thank you, I appreciate it. This is something I fixed it, and then I don't know how it broke. And then I haven't been able to fix it again. Mavic, thank you for the follow, big nice. Much appreciated. With the notification sound, like, working properly on the resubs. I feel like I feel like infamy stacking reduction in Vic 3 is only a problem because trait cautious exists. It's anytime you start to approach 50%, it starts to be like a problem. I think for discount modifiers, and you're right, cautious like kind of just like pushes it over the edge, but also not core territory like just actually makes it insane. And BB Love, thank you for the Prime sub, much appreciated, my guy. I meant Control F to use the patch notes to find specifically about the river map mode. It starts with hidden map. Oh, I thought you were like in game. I thought you were like somehow trolling me. I was trying to think through it while like constantly talking. But yeah, we could actually show the culprit here. Don't like that change. Hey Hamcuts, how's it going? It's very deep. We gotta delve really in deep to get this rise up. Also, if you didn't see it, Guthuk has a really good video on slavery. I mean, I think I kind of understand how to do... I think I've played around with slavery more than any of the other content creators. Maybe. He has some spicy takes on things. I think he does a lot of multiplayer though, so like in terms of like what's good militarily, that would probably be something I might click on one of his videos for. Control F is search in browser, yeah. Vassals should have more to do with use of low procs and having useful cabinet seats for vassal directives, not just core land as it feels right now. This is perhaps fair. If they didn't give you land... Well, right now they give you cored land, which I don't like. I think it should just be integrated land. I think that it's cored is, like, to me is so crazy, because it completely invalidates, like, the cultural... Like, the importance of, like, this entire cultural system, which I think is, like, somewhat... I think it's pretty interesting, but, like, this entire minigame is totally irrelevant when you get cores from your subjects. Like, you can see we're not even using... We're, like... we're not using 2 of the cultural capacity because it's not mattering, and, like... most of the places that are integrated are cored. Like, the reason we don't have a lot of stuff cored is because it's, like, not integrated, right? And I think, at this point in the save, like, we were wanting to distribute, stuff. I like the way Age of Wonders 4 did multiplicative effects. That's what that's what I've been saying for forever. Or the efficiency modifiers, I think mathematically they're the same as like multiplicative effect. England's plus 50 procs is useless for England though. Yes, exactly. But I'm just saying that the mechanic itself exists. Plus you could... England's would matter if you made it plus 80 or plus 90 if you wanted to do that. Things like secondary mechanical, capital mechanic or vice realities and stuff are so fundamental, IMO, they should honestly not be flavor, but instead be mechanics you can pick between. I think in public, like, comments, like, when people have commented about, like, vice reality or second capital, like, the response is something to the tune of, yeah, we have that in game, it's a subject. Think you use the event where Conquer York, you keep the procs. The true use of the event is when you conquer York as anyone else, you keep the procs. That's hilarious. Vice realities are just bailiff plus plus, yeah. So why are bailiffs only for rural locations? The bailiff used to give a lot more. The bailiff used to effectively give 30 flat control, and now it gives effectively 15. I think they could make bailiffs apply to towns and cities, but I think it's because there's a base, a lot of, you get, like, plus 15 base control in towns and cities, and I think that's part of why, that they don't have it like that. F? What have we done? All the Fs in chat, what's going on? I played around slavery more than anyone? Yeah. Okay. Not like this. That's what the F's in chat are. No, but like the slavery. I played around. Yeah, I think I. Yep. All right, fair enough. I think vassal integrating is fine. It's just dumb that you get free cores. So culture. Yeah, this is what I think as well. It's balanced for endgame though. You only get cultures because the AI doesn't know how to use the integrate area interactions, so you don't get cores from subjects anymore. Integrate area interactions. What? The subjects are just fine using integrate area. What do you mean? They're not very good at coring stuff. But if you just feed them like based on cultures, their own culture, and compartmentalize it for culture, it works. Basically, the slavery explanation was just as autos or MEMS, you should close all your slave markets since they fill your pop demand for slaves, but since it's an accepted culture, you can't employ them. Basically, the explanation was just as Ottomans or MEMS, since they fill all your demands for slaves, but since it's an accepted culture, you can't employ them. Like, you can't capture the pop. Well, the thing is like, if you have demands for slavery, like, and you have a building that produces slaves, it's still a production building that's making money. The slavery explanation was just as Ottomans or Mamluks, since you should close all your slave markets. So if the slave market's making money but it's not making slaves, then that's fine. Since they fill your demand for slaves, okay, so the idea is you don't want to fill the demand for slaves, but since it's an accepted culture, you can't employ them. Right, so if you have a slave center in a location where you have 100% accepted pops, it won't actually produce slaves. There is some weird fiddliness, though, with, like, slaves being created as a pop when you trade it, and when you trade it or export the slave, then it, like, creates the pops. So I'm not 100% sure that's the case, but, like, in terms of just observing the locations, that is the case. There's some, like, fiddly weirdness. Attrition super broken in the current patch? Yeah. But I think we have, like, slave centers in Naples, like a slave center in Naples. And, well, actually, no, that's a bad example because we actually have Neapolitans who we can enslave because we're from Venice. But we can't slave, well, let's find... Okay, let's find a place that's going to be mostly Venetian or accepted pops. One of the things is, though, your slave centers determines when you take slaves from locations, it determines where they go. So the part of why you're building slave centers as the Mamluks or the Ottomans is to give locations you want your slaves to go to. Multiplicative and efficiency aren't quite the same. It's minus 50% multiplicative equals 50 in efficiency. They are inefficiency. They are equal minus 66%. If it's multiplicative... Are you sure? So 1 it's 50%, because 1 over 1 plus 0.5 plus 0.5 is 1/2, so efficiency it's going to be 50%, and then if you get minus 50% twice, it's 0.5 times 0.5. So it's minus 75? Or no, wait, no, minus... In efficiency, they equal minus 66%. we have the cost. Let's say the cost is 10. You times it by 0.5. It's now... I feel like I'm not understanding the math somehow. F was for the river map mode? Got it. I was doing efficiency as plus 100% to represent... Okay, so 2... To represent the minus 50%. But, mathematically, though, 2 50% modifiers is for both of them is 75% discount, right? But obviously, the math doesn't work with minus 100%. But it works with 50%. Is that just a coincidence? If you get 2 20% modifiers for the efficiency modifier, right, it would be 1 over 1.4. And then if you had 2 discount modifiers, it would be 0.8 times 0.8, so it would be 0.64, so it would be 36%. No, that doesn't sound right. No, 0.8 times 0.8, 36%, and then what's 1 over 1.4? It's not 64%, is it? It's 0.64. Yeah, so it's 71% versus 64%, so it is different. Yeah. I was saying multiplicative is minus 50%, it's minus 75%. Yeah, it's coincidence, yeah. Just, yeah, I'm checking on the math. Why are rivers good for cities? Is it purely for the Pound Lock Canal? Yeah, Pound Lock Canal is a big deal. Proximity cost is an insane modifier because of how the math works. Irrigation's also crazy in cities. It's really good from a math perspective with how it upsets the food impact, yeah. Subjects can integrate provinces, but subjects currently don't have working priority for integrate area once it's unlocked. Oh, integrate area, yeah, but you just make small subjects and they do it at the province level. Small subjects are kind of better. Do slave centers' production efficiency create pops out of nothing? No, it creates the good for slaves, and when the good for slaves is moved, then, like, the slave pop is, like, kind of created. This has been explained to me. It has been a little bit of while, and there's, like, some weird fiddliness, which means that, like, even, you can create the good without creating the pop, I think, still. But, like, when you trade it, there's, like, some things... I can't remember if you need to have the pops present in order to trade the good. Or not. I know some people argue that regulars are too strong, but a small nation daunting to have Bohemia and France as your neighbors. It also makes it so mercs are... The design philosophy is that a regular is supposed to be roughly equivalent to a levy. And that's just the design intent, so... Yeah. Multiplicative depends on how big the buffs are, because in that case, a 20% reduction is not the equivalent of 2 10% reductions. Yeah. The using 50% is just, like, coincidental, like, yeah. No, it's not a coincidence, it doesn't happen. Multiplicative is always a higher reduction. Multiplicative is always a higher reduction. Did I just, like, I just can't do math? So, if we have 0.5 times 0.5, it'll be... You're right. It'll be a 75% reduction versus a 50% reduction. You're correct. I just can't do math today. Thoughts on converting Ruthenian and any other East Slavic, since most of their proc stuff is culture related, is probably good. It's probably good. It's silly, it's good, but yeah. Don't integrate area, cabinet action, just replace integrate province. Oh, does it just break their ability to integrate anything in the later game? Alright guys, we're gonna spoil. We're gonna spoil a little bit. When did we get integrate area? I don't want to spoil too deep into the run. Do we have integrate area by now? I think this is one episode forward. Oh, you're, Connor, I think you're trying to get to the... I think what you're doing is you're getting to the equivalent reduction, and you're saying what the modifier is, and what I'm trying to do is apply the same modifier two different ways. Okay, or I'm going crazy. Are they just not... No, looks... He's using integrate province. Oh no, but he's not a new subject. Here, wait. Let's actually see if we have integrate area yet. I think we kind of rushed it. Okay, we have better integration. Did we finish... Did we create a recent subject? I guess you guys, how much do you guys really care if we spoil? It's not like anything too crazy happened. Oh, we could just create a new subject now and see what they do. Yeah, we could just do that. Because they get the same tech as you. So this guy will have no cores, right? This is the idea. And he won't be able to integrate. So you're saying he just won't use the action? Oh, interesting. That market makes some sense, yeah? Oh, very low market access here. Is this because the rivers changed? That these guys just have, like, shit market access? Or they just have a different type of standard? So we see a bunch of new markets come around with the change. Waiting for these guys. So, you telling me that once you have integrate area, once you unlock it, any new subjects you make, just stone will not integrate anything. Because they forget that the... Is it worth building a town location with rare metals, silver, gold, where I've reached the population limit? Probably not. The only exception I can think of is if it's like farmland. And then I think it's like kind of marginal. I think keeping like Niani urban is like actually makes some sense. But I don't know of any other location that's a farmland gold. I'm just thinking of the difference how they scale when you have multiplicative modifiers rather than the effects of a single modifier. Yeah, because when they're multiplicative, it matters how many modifiers it takes to get to the number is irrelevant with efficiency modifiers. I think I prefer efficiency to multiplicative. Efficiency, like, the scaling is, like, really intuitive and stuff. Wow, he makes conquer more land and makes more money. What a shocker. Maybe tag into them. Integrate area has been broken for weeks. Yeah, this is an easy one to overlook, just because, yeah. Did they see they buffed admin focus in Age of Renaissance to 5% procs cost reduction? They buffed it? I mean, that's good for it. But okay, so I guess don't make subjects. I mean, this is cute though. This is how you nerf the subject expansion. You make it so they just can't integrate areas. All right. So you're saying they have the cabinet action, they just have no desire to use it, I'm guessing is the issue. Why buff that but nerf itinerant court? They also didn't nerf theocracies, so theocracy still gets minus 10%. I don't know, this could all be avoided if they changed the way it worked to be either multiplicative or efficiency modifier. Yeah. I assume they have it. Yeah, they have it. They just don't like using it. Maybe they don't like using it because they don't have the entire... a very large amount of the area? Would you consider doing a colonial guide? The thing is, colonies are scuffed, but enough people are asking for it, I think I'm going to do it. But a lot of it's just going to be how to play around scuffed stuff. I'm planning on doing... Okay, so maybe they do something now. I'm planning on doing, starting with the Colombian exchange. So now we go centralization, I guess, again? I guess. Itinerant court was a lot more universal, yeah. Why do they have a... Why did your subjects get cores when you release them? Is that new? I don't remember subjects always getting your cores, if you had a core. Maybe you go decentralized until you get integrate area? Yeah, I mean, I guess this is the way to go. God, that's an obnoxious bug. Maybe we were gonna play until a thing, but maybe we just end the after episode 11. I mean, we're gonna spoil it. How do trade companies work? They kind of don't pay attention to them. Yeah, just ignore trade companies for now. You cannot do any marriages in 1.10. I think you could only marry your immediate family, which is what is intended. The game is straightforward. You get specific things like reforms and state privileges, basically all else cheat code that the AI chooses. Because, like, it'll fall off eventually, but the big sources would feel big and cool. That's one of the reasons I also really would like efficiency modifiers, because you can actually give modifiers that feel good early on. What subjects did we make? I forget. They're using it in this save, so is it broken in 1.10 specifically? Pretty sure your subject getting cores is old, you don't have to take the integrate area tech. That's true. Generalist gaming loves playing core. I mean, like, it's like... No, the thing is like... I think keeping secrets is, like, correct from a content creation perspective, but then I also think it's so insipid that, like, I usually say I don't want to do it, and then, like, I just, or, like, say that I don't want to spoil, and then I'm like, you know what, I, like, don't care that much, and, like, it's, like, theoretically incorrect, but, like, how big a deal could it be? So this guy should not... This guy is doing it correctly. Oh, but maybe he was before, but this guy, we just created that guy. I think he's the only subject we created after this war. We get the new markets again. But this guy doesn't want to make any course. Have you easily spread maritime presence to non-coastal locations? You mean via lakes, or is this like a more general question? You spread it to, like, the area navally, and then you move it inland, like, with roads and stuff. The one was integrating using integrate province. Yeah, he's also a subject we've had for a while, so we fed that subject territory so he could do the things. Yeah. Anyone big enough fan to watch you is not going to skip an episode because they saw a snapshot from the future of the game. Yeah. Spoilers, we conquer England. That's annoying. Don't these guys... I think we just get, like, an instant integration on them, so it's not, like, the worst. We could just use integrate area ourselves afterwards. Hey, Generalist, I've heard EU5 was going to be make or break for your streaming career. As an adult playing a game for adults, you're my favorite content creator so far. Thank you so very much. Yeah, I mean, I feel like that was, implied question of how's it going with the EU5, and it's going pretty good. November, I probably made half the money I'm gonna make for the year off the release. Like the Levantine Sea. Oh, well, now you're gonna go into lakes and then out of lakes. So this is gonna be nice. Because you'll be able to go to Karak really easy. Hey, Tristan, thank you for the gifted membership. Thank you so very much. Much appreciated, my guy. 2 gifted memberships. Hell yeah, brother. I'm not going to miss an episode of the Loud Cars. Big true. Building roads on maritime feels very annoying since you need to know what path to proximity is going to trace. That is correct. What you do is you kind of like... you kind of just like look and you're like, hey, okay, this looks like the way to get to there is this road, and then you do this. And like, it works if you have all one type of road, but like if you have mixed roads, this will actually not tell you where you need to go, and from like the way that you micro, it's actually really obnoxious. You deserve it, thank you, thank you. No, around Crete, not lakes. The way we're getting stuff to Crete is navally. You mean passing through like this? If you have like proximity on either side, if I recall correctly, it helps. Like moving into and out of a sea, if there's like this, specifically like these sea segments get really expensive, but or it doesn't count like the full proximity. Like but if you're traveling through a segment like this, it's cheaper. Yeah. Like both sides of this are going to be cheap. Oh, never mind. Just kidding. Just kidding. Oh, Kurt. A little body on water on the Suez count as a lake? I don't think so. That'd be crazy. No. You can build roads on it, though. No. They made it... The ability to build road here is so nice. Or build roads through corridors is very nice. Like, huge QOL for, like, anything around here. It actually means you can decently... I wonder if Morocco... No, they don't have proximity down here. It's like a lot of segments to go through. Oh, they don't even own the intermediary segments. Is there anyone who does? That's a little unfortunate. Okay. These guys do. Looks like they aren't getting any proximity here. Maybe they haven't built roads, though. You're the Yoda of this game. Hard to see the river map mode is, because they removed it from the game. You can get maritime presence in the zones, but you have to do it manually. Oh, you can? I'm too busy using this thing. I'm like looking around because I don't want to... I'm not even going to save, but I'm like looking around because I don't want to use the wrong fleet. This is stupid. Let's just grab a fleet. So then it's a matter of provinces, right? So we could just park a navy in this province because it boosts all the things. But it doesn't show in the proximity. Oh, it does show. It just doesn't highlight. Bro, so you have to just park a navy. Oh, this makes so much sense. That's so visually unclear because we do have maritime presence here. It just doesn't show it. I'm gonna make a note here. It's annoying micromanagement as automation doesn't allow you to include in patrols. Yeah, no, that's silly. That just means you have to park a maintenance navy here. Because the way it works is it's for the entire province. So this is one province, right? The Ionian Sea is a province with these in it, right? So that just means you have to park a navy to maintain these in the Ionian Sea. But like that it is visually not showing in the UI is actually kind of obnoxious. I get why it doesn't stay here, because that's what requires a lot more maintenance, but like... So these segments can get reduced by a lot. That's my bad. I've always been using automation, and then like in my head it's like... have I actually just never freaking hovered this shit, or haven't hovered it in a long enough time to see that they have proximity here? That's a huge deal. Now we have 76% proximity. Yeah, the control is +6 now there. But it's gonna be like, everywhere is going through here, so like, it's gonna be... Control's gonna be like +6 in Constantinople too. Bro. Oh. Hey Tristan, thank you for the 10 Canadian. Wow, you donated gift subs and then $10. Much appreciated. Pair character jumping up and down right now saying #1 fan. Oh, is that the... Yeah, okay. The much appreciated, my guy. Thank you so much. When I get that in my restream, in my YouTube chat, it's the pair guy actually jumping down. Not in my restream chat, it's just the description. You have to park navies every province for early game maritime presence. I can't believe you haven't been doing that. Yeah, I mean, I haven't, I haven't played that much in the Med. That's a big difference, though, for both Majapahit and, like, a lot of the times when I was actually, like, actively learning it and looking at it, I was playing England, which doesn't travel through the sea provinces, really. And so that all the coastal provinces were sufficiently done is like it was good enough. I think the fact that you make guides and videos at a higher average complexity and detailed level is great. It will be devoted to the following. Much appreciated. Reading is OP. Big true. Hey, the Daniel ISSK. Thank you for the membership. Much appreciated. Reading is OP. Patrol seeds is evil because it lets your old ones drop slightly down, and then that ends up being like double cost. Lets your old ones drop slightly down, and then it ends up being like double cost. This is going to be a lot of micro. I had 100 control in Stockholm through the sea from Holland after finding out about this. Well, I mean, this is... Yeah, this is... This is actually really big. Because, yeah, like... In my head, you couldn't travel through these sea zones like this very well, and so having to hug the coast was like a thing. I mean, I saw that it would get cheaper sometimes, but I thought it had to do with the zones on either side of the sea. It's very poorly represented in the UI. Just Daniels? Okay, okay, okay. I haven't played that much in the med when you have Mare Nostrum. No, I mean in my total hours. I haven't. But the bigger thing is, like, when I was looking at the mechanic, like, very closely, I was playing England. And then now I'm just, like, relying on what I learned when I was playing England. Who does that change? I mean, Kilwa is going to be better. Is this just the Kilwa patch? The important thing is that patrolling open seas is rough. I guess you can do it if you want to micro it, but any place where the province has these open sea zones, that's going to be fine. So just looking around the map, like, this is a lot closer than it looks. I mean, I know it's going to change Indonesia a lot. I mean, it makes this a lot better, playing in the Caribbean. Because now as the Caribbean, you're, like, close to freaking everything. It actually might be the best capital in North America. Might be over here. The annoying part is if you have fleets with no orders and you use automatic Navy transport, your fleets will decide to escort them. I don't use automatic naval transport. Is the appanage policy worth keeping in your opinion? If I recall correctly, it's good early on. Can't remember exactly what it does, though. But this changes a lot for Malaya or Majapahit, because the issue for Majapahit is getting over here. And you want to travel, like... You're traveling out from, like, here, I think. So 1, 2, 3... But then it's 4, 5, 6... 7, 8, 9. At a cost of like 2 apiece. That means you're getting like 80 to Australia, like in this segment area. You apply it to currents as well, but you have to current attrition eventually kills you. Yeah, but oh wait. No, okay, these just have similar coloring. So like yeah, none of the currents are in a province that has a sea zone on the coast, as far as I can tell. Well, this one does. Wait. Actually? This is all one province. So you can just park a navy right here. Can Majapahit get all the way to Africa? 1, 3, 4, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I don't know how much more expensive it is. 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. I mean, if it's only 2 apiece, then you could get like 50 proximity in Africa. Some islands are impassable terrain. I think that island is. Okay. If it's impassable, it's impassable. That would make sense. Is this one also impassable? I mean, I'd have to see if this attritions you, I guess. Like, I know St. Helena is, colonizable, and the fact that it uses this is, like, gonna matter, I think. The province south of Cyprus also has no coastal sea zone. How do you get high capital economy values? You slowly push it through like events and so the thing is establishing enough to get to 50, and then once you get 50, there are generally a lot more events. Does Maritime Province work on a per province basis? Yes. So you need to have proximities on a per location basis, but maritime presence. Yeah, so the amount of maritime presence you gain is based on a per province basis, and so what we're looking for is, can you park a navy in any of these locations and not have it attrition out? And if yes, then you could increase your maritime presence in the entire thing, in theory. See, here it doesn't show maritime presence of ass, like, not having any. We should have some down here, no? Oh, the map mode we're using just won't show it. Because, okay, obviously it doesn't show it, yeah. No, yeah, there's maritime presence here. So I mean, after a certain point, it's too many locations to go through. Like, this is like, if you have your capital here, this is still like a ton of locations, even if you patrolled this. Which this is entirely, there's nothing to patrol. There's no island guiding your way here. But okay, Bermuda 100% is settlable, so you can patrol outside of Bermuda. Just a lot of these have no islands. But I mean, there's islands here. Could Castile maybe get proximity to the coast? Probably not. That's so many locations. If you're coming from Sevilla, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I feel like I miscounted already. 16, 17, 18. 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and that's assuming you find a way to do that, which seems like one of the issues. 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. I mean, I guess in theory, if you want control, Egypt is, to control Egypt, which is super valuable. Yeah, the patrolling the... No, like, the way that we're tracing proximity right now is, like, ass compared to, like, how we could be if we, we're just going a straight line. Right, 1, 2, 3. Why does it go around like that? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And I think we're losing like 2 a segment or something. But we don't have maxed out there. Losing 2.8, so 12, so like 30%, so 70-ish% procs in Alexandria. Start 50. Norwegian, Indonesian, Denmark starts to make sense. Hell yeah. Do you have a video of best way to set up colonial nations? No, I'm thinking I'm gonna make one. The thing is, colonial stuff is really scuffed right now. And so, like, half the video would be playing around the scuffedness. That's why I haven't made it, but people have been asking. Can't you just rotate 2 navies in and out? Yeah, but it's a ton of micro. I don't want to, like... I mean, I guess I could, but, like, I kind of don't want to micro... Putting a navy here, putting my right foot in, then you put your right foot out, then you put your right foot in, and then you shake it all about, like... yeah. I guess if you're doing it to literally one segment, that's not the end of the world. So, like, here you literally have one segment to get to the new world, right? And you have access to the Viceroyalty, so you can get... Well, you have access to the Viceroyalty, so you can just get proximity there anyway. How do you feel about the Papal States always colonizing? I'm not a fan. I thought you could only project maritime along your coast. I knew you could get a discount, but I thought it had to do with the coast. But yeah, no, it's not just coast. It just shows only on the coast. It's a UI thing. Like, we have maritime here. Yeah, when I learned as England, and as England it was like, everything's coast. And this is also one of the reasons highly valuing England, is because in my head it was like, oh, this is the only place where it's coastal connected, but it's not important. Or it's not as important as I thought. Like, Denmark can get to England really well too, because if you could travel through these two, Denmark gets way better, and you can travel through those two. Also, the Med gets way better. Migrant sounds like the biggest pain ever. It being one province does not make it better. It being one province makes it so much better. I mean, I still emotionally would not want to do it. I'm just, like, it being one province is, like, just infinitely better than, like, it being, like, many. But also, this makes, like, Japan and, like, this makes this entire region a lot stronger, too. Can we get a look at this? And, no, we can't stay on the map mode we were on. Not like this. Which one is it? Is geopolitical? We want to be on the province map mode because the provinces is what you can patrol. But that makes any attempt to play in Australia way better. So this next patch, honestly, is the Majapahit Kilwa patch. Also, Kilwa is just going to be insane because these rivers are, or these lakes are super silly here. Like, Kilwa is going to be absolutely butternut squash. And if you know what that means, that makes one of us. So... yeah. They giveth and then they taketh away, I guess. Yeah, this area is going to be really nice for proximity with the lakes as well. Hey, Avilo, how's it going? Paradox fears the players who attempt to control across the Atlantic and attempt to stop you, but they will fail. They can try. That's it, chat. We're putting our capital in the Azores. I'm very sad today. Oh no. My 300-year-old Iron Man France save is dead because I clicked play as a colony. Womp womp. Why don't you just take the save? Yes? Can you load it up in not Iron Man? And then swap nations? Those lakes absurd. Girl, those lakes of you are absurd. Holy fuckity fuck. Those lakes of yours are absurd. Sofala is the insane capital. Where's Sofala exactly? Are you looking at, yeah, we'll find Sofala. They're gonna revert the lake change, at least partially, because it's way too strong right now? Maybe. I don't know. They giveth and then they taketh. Is it even like Sofala itself? Do we like Sofala better than Kilwa? I don't think we like Sofala better than Kilwa. Or I guess which one has the flattest terrain heading in there? Yeah, maybe it is Sofala. You just rode through there, and then you're on the lake, and then it's like this lake superhighway. The lake is actually absurdly fast because this is one tile. So you enter here and you exit here. Bink, 3 prosperity or 3 proximity cost. Let's go, baby. So Fallout threw me off because it's both the market capital on the east coast here, and then it's also you get the Malian buildings that called the Sofala barracks. No, you want to touch the middle lake? Well, it doesn't matter where you touch the lake. I do think you want like at least 50% harbor capacity though, but so it's. Oh, these are only 35? I think it's just Kilwa, man. Or Kilwa or down here. How far away is... One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And Kilwa's what? 1, 2, 3. Nah. It's Kilwa. Kilwa is insane. It's like, holy shit, girl. That Kilwa of yours is insane. And then, you, like, come here, and then, like, boom, over to here. And then, and then you're here, and whoop! We're in Bembe, Beya, Buyu, we're over here, baby! And then, like, what is this, like, okay, actually, you come here, yeah, and then, you come here, and then it's straight from here into lake, into here, 5 proximity cost, and then, okay, like 10, 15, 10, 15, right? And then you're like, this entire area you have control. Bro, just Kilwa's the truth. You just zip up here for like 20 proximity, you're up in this business. Are there more lakes here? I guess you have this lake a little bit. You touch the middle lake, everything that touches them is 100% proximity. Oh, just put your capital over here? The attrition you take in the new patch is crazy? That's what someone was saying. I'm at the main screen. Why does the lake matter? You can now project proximity through lakes. And it's projected as if you had 100% maritime. So, like, this segment is like 5 or something, or 4 cost. And so just looking at this lets you kind of know. Everything that touches the lake is our kingdom, basically. There's more lake at the bottom of the lake. What? But yeah, just like all of this is like right next to Kilwa, basically. This is like within 4 of Kilwa, 4 of Kilwa, 4 of Kilwa. There's like, it's all right next to Kilwa. And then it's like 1, 2, and then all basically still right next to Kilwa. Lakes being better than downstream rivers seems really weird. I agree. What's your day-to-day job? This is. They need to change how rivers based on how navigable rivers actually are IRL, because some rivers suck for shipping while some are amazing. Yeah, the Nile should be insane. Are keyboard shortcuts changed? Nope, they removed the... You're going to have to install a mod, I follow. They removed the river map mode. I think we're going to also look to get out of here, because... We're done reading the patch notes, but this is the most important note. They're freshwater huge and surrounded by arable lands. How are the American lands not in the best in the world? I don't know. Does this only apply to lakes that you can't build navies on? That's right. Because you can put boats on the Great Lakes. Oh, it does. Only to the ones you can't... Yep, Great Lakes suck. You have to build the boats in the Great Lakes. No river map mode, what? Yeah, exactly. Express your rage. Go out and express your rage on the forums. Let them know. On the forums and the Reddits. Go forth. Spread the word of the Lord. I mean the river. Why on earth would they remove the river map mode? They removed all the hidden map modes from input binding settings. Removing the river map mode is just anti-fun by the devs. I'm going to complain to Johan about this. Honestly, I have never at Johan once in my life. That actually might not be true. Just like out of the blue at him, I might add him over this. Not having to build the boats, you needed the harbor capacity. Oh, that's true. Yep, harbor capacity. You're right. Lakes have never heard of requiring harbor capacity. Would you recommend opting into the beta? I mean... Probably, but like, I would install a mod for the river map mode. Yeah. They wanted to lower the ESRB. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair enough. To remove the thing. Yeah, how hard is it to build a harbor in a lake? Also true. Like, the stuff's not going to be... Maybe you should just every lake location should have 100% harbor capacity. Yeah. He shows up in the AOE4 Twitch chats in the morning if you want to yell at him. No, I'm not going to at Johan. I'm talking like big game, but like I think people are going to be angry enough for me. Your spreadsheet analytical skills would give you a $150 job, 150k, but do what you love. All benefit from it. I actually have a friend who's offered me a job in like finance / analysis, which like is still a potential thing, because doing this I make less than minimum wage, so even with having a really good November. Is the beta save game compatible? It's compatible. Would you shortly explain the non% proximity modifier where it says -1 land? -1 land? Non% proximity modifiers. Well, I think they took out the land proximity, flat proximity modifiers. But unless I'm mistaken, I didn't see any of them when we were looking around. But for the lake and this type of stuff, the naval ones apply to the 5. There's a base 5 that cannot be reduced for maritime presence, and the naval modifiers apply to that. And there's a very, very strong modifier, because each -0.5 represents 10% off of, if you get maximum maritime, the cost. Do you deadlift? I don't. Lifting weights is for suckers. It's like, why would you like get jacked and swole when you could be soft and breathable? I made a game as a hobby project, counted my time, and I made around 20 cents per hour. Yeah, kind of like, yeah. You may get paid less than minimum wage, but you 25%. You can put 25% of your net income into a 401k. Is that actually true? We might have to get on that. If you can't build ships, is it still affected by harbor capacity? Lakes? No, it's just you. It seems not at all. There's no like enter exit. It's like passing through a sea segment. Yeah. All right. I think we're going to make a summary video on this. I guess we'll just go through it right now for the people who are on stream. Kind of the most important points of the patch. They removed the river map mode. This is a travesty. They reduced a few ways to stack prosperity gains. From what I can see, it's just bureaucracy got nerfed, which I released a video on that 10 hours ago, so that's kind of annoying. Rebalance of proximity. Some sources making lakes and rivers impactful and roads when built now ignore vegetation. Ignoring vegetation's huge. The lake change is huge. And the rivers... rivers seem like they are lower impact considering roads are now, rather than adding to rivers in terms of market access, they are competing with rivers. Some buildings like marketplaces and market villages now increase market access by 0.5, really strong. Paved roads, this is what we're talking about in terms of competing, will scale pretty well. Downstream rivers still 50% for market access. I think upstream rivers like 10% or something, so now upstream rivers are irrelevant, which is, I have to double check the percentages of what it was before, I guess, if I wanted to, but that seems incorrect. I'm pretty sure moving stuff via boat, like even upstream on barges, was like way more efficient than roads for like a long time. So, yeah. You need to open self-employed, and 401k and E-Trade is the only brokerage I was able to do that at. Self-employed 401k. Here, let's write this down. Because that's kind of a big deal. I should get on that. Now that I'm making, like, above, like, subsistence, basically. Rough vegetation slows down road building much further, but the roads will get rid of the things. Lakes always have max maritime presence. Market ranges check different coastlines, so you can go through not just the primary coastline, but multiple coastlines. Tweaked a lot of bonuses to pop growth that could stack rather high, fair enough. Asking for money. Caps, which is good. Isolating from allies now requires you to be allied. Good change. Seizing land from your subjects causes it to be conquered instead, reducing, or we weren't abusing that, but that was like obviously the meta thing to do, so that's good change. Reduced frontage, bonus from quality societal values. They mistyped that, but it is, or from quantity, and that's good. That was just clearly the bad, like, it's still, I think, a lot better than quality, so, like, I think it's probably not, it's still not close, but the fact that it's still a lot better is, like, indicative of how good a change that was. Drilling now requires maintenance, much to the chagrin of the video that we had made, so we're gonna have to change 2 rankings on the text, because drill army we had pretty high. Colonial charters now are going to be correctly applying dev, this type of thing. Exports now spread institutions, which is a very big change. AI might be using Colombian exchange more. This might be insane if it lets any country kind of get all of Ottoman's content by switching Turkish. Buffs promote integration progress, maybe makes centralization kind of viable, but I still think it's not going to be a thing. And yeah. A bunch of really nice AI changes. And then the macro builder does have some good changes as well. So we'll answer some questions. Be out. You need to add OnlyFans to your portfolio. Bro, that chick who does OnlyPans, like the cooking channel, where she just makes a bunch of sexual innuendos, and it's called OnlyPans, is so fucking funny. They're trying to censor you via nerfs, basically. I'll legit let it go back to non-beta and make river screenshots, and they'll just consult the river screenshots. Yeah. What's your opinion on paying for Republican tradition and just getting the money because having below 50% is not a big debuff? I think it's polarized. You either want 100 or you just pay for 0, probably, because the decay on it is linear, right? So it's the same price no matter what. The decay on stability is the more stab you have, the bigger the decay gets. And so the cost of stab goes up the more stab you have. The cost of Republican tradition doesn't go up the more that you have, so you either, like, stone 0 or you pay... I can double check exactly what it gives. I mean, I think, like, in my head it's worth paying for, but maybe it's not. Could be mistaken here. And legislative efficiency is pretty good. Or it was. Yeah, maybe you just ignore it. I'm pretty sure you can get nasty events, though. Nasty events and disaster rolls is not something you're into. If I had to guess, I think you'd pay for it, but, like, maybe that's incorrect. Some YouTube just told me I was in the top 0.1% of Generalist viewers. Woohoo! But I think it's only because I watch your 3-hour Korea video that, like, 4x time, 4x doesn't mean much. It's only about hours watched. It means a lot considering how long my videos are, I guess. Or I would think. A lot of people, like, listen to it on, like, drive to work or this type of thing. As an employee, you can make a differential contributions equal to less than $23,000 or 100,000% of your compensation. Then as an employer, you can make a contribution of up to 25% of your compensation each year. As self-employed, so I could do 100% up to 46K. Is centralization even worth it now? No, probably not. Can you give out privileges if you have zero legitimacy? Oh, this is true. But even the logic still applies, right? Let's hide our crown power. Yikes. The logic still applies, though. Like, what this guy is getting at. You just would ramp it up so that you could pay for the privileges and then stop. Theoretical cost court strat is to play at 90 for events that give positives, since the bonuses for being above 50 are so low, but it's annoying to do that. Yeah. I don't want to micro being at 90, but I think that that's probably correct, because you can get events that give you plus 10 legitimacy. And then being over 50 gives you stuff, and then being below 50 allows you to roll disasters, so... Add props to the off-the-cuff comebacks. Thank you. Much appreciated. Not sure what that's in reference to, but... Republican tradition also negatively affects stab costs if it's not at 100. Yeah, we're like reading it like we have the full picture. Okay. Oh yeah, then you just want 100, I think. Well, it might be 90, but like... Yeah. It's a lot of micro. I wish that, like, so for some various things, the, like, sliders, like, the what is correct strategically to do is, like, doesn't comport with the sliders, like, automation button, and so it can be a little bit frustrating. God, I feel bad for missing Erica's resub. Lee Wolf, thank you for the Prime sub. Much appreciated, my guy. Yeah, the like Erica from an hour, like a couple hours ago now, because I missed it. She's like both Prime and a member. Thank you, Lee Wolf. Your wait is quick. I'm trying. It's better in the morning. Changed succession law a few years before Court and Country and popped, and I have zero legitimacy. Womp womp. Yeah, it might be you don't want to change it for a while. No, because you'll still have terrible control over most of Inner Anatolia for a while, so it's better to give it vassals. Would Ottomans be an exception to the centralization? No. They would not. I think you go decentralized, you just choose to own a lot more stuff, even though you're going decentralized. If there was an exception, it would be the Ottomans, but even then, I don't think they're an exception. Because they can roll that silly event that just gives you unlimited free stabs, so, like, having more opportunities to roll that event. Maybe as the Ottomans? I think they're, like, the only country in the game where I think it's, like, maybe worth... But the thing is, like, really early on, you don't want to own the stuff. Direct, I think. And then, like, is it worth the investment? Because there's still a bunch of stuff that gives you decentralization trend that's good, right? And is it worth doing all that? Especially with the new changes to prosperity? where you have to throw centralization to get prosperity. Milan is the exception. Oh, Milan does have that good integration cab action. But, like, the question is it worth it for you to push 100 centralization just to, like, whip it back to decentralization later? And I kind of don't think the answer is yes. Because it not only has to be better at the beginning for you to go it has to stay that way. There's only so many Lombard locations you can apply it. I was about to try and check. Oh, Milan still does exist. I wish you could change the game rule from when you're in the world map. Allowed. What stuff do you keep 20 Quen power giving out so many privileges? Part of it has to do with the strangeness with the Demi. You say it was a law? Or government reform? Do they have a law that they're not even, or reform that they're not even using? I forget where their content is. Oh, formalized weight scales and measures? I didn't realize that was all republics. I thought it was just Milan. I guess that makes Florence a lot better. Yeah, so this is the cabinet action you're talking about, which is very good. Not seeing the other thing, which suggests to me it's a law. It's a law in an event. Oh. If it's in an event, then we might not have it as AI Milan here. What category is it? What's the easiest nation to play? Bohemia, probably. Balance of sides, having centralization, decentralization, give proxas versus local proximity source would be kind of cool. I think that's what a lot of people have suggested. I'm not... I think I could maybe get on board with that. The AI will generally choose the option that slots in the thing. Admin, I think. Admin system, probably. Meridinad division, so good. Prox cost still 10%. Castile is such an insane tag. Okay. Not seeing it though. Yeah, not seeing it. Legal code? Maybe it's one of those hidden, super hidden ones. How about having a secondary capitals mechanics system? Well, the bailiff kind of does that a little bit. But there was a building, the Mint used to give 40 base proximity, but then it got nerfed to only give, or nerfed/buffed to only give 5 flat control. So they've moved away from that from a design perspective. Have you played any of the natives? No. I don't think it'd be very good content. I feel like the only values where it's ambiguous you want to go in the sliders, land versus naval, everything feels pretty binary. Free subjects was kind of rough before it was like now your biggest source of prosperity. Boho, you go to war with all of Europe in the second stage, probably not the easiest. You don't, well, you expand not into the HRE as Boho. Hungary's awesome. Yeah, maybe Hungary's easier. Love the videos. Thank you, thank you. You could scroll in the tooltip. Oh. Man really said you don't have eyes. Man really said you don't have eyes. I think this is bad. Man really said, use your eyes, young blood. Is that the one he was talking about? This one's also insane. Oh, did they nerf this? Was it always 5%? I think it was always 5%. Yeah. He said, use your eyes, young blood. Once you organize your country is worth it? I don't know about that. I think I would take 5% or 25% peasant satisfaction, like, every day of the week. I think it's awesome in the earlier stages. When you only have 2 cab actions plus 1 cab action, you can make an argument, I guess. I don't think so. I think I disagree. I think you actually also like legislative efficiency early. Like, it's not like this is dead and does nothing. Papal States launch a crusade against Boho, or you accept minus 50% state satisfaction equal. Maybe it's Hungary then. If you have less than 5, it's absolutely worth it. I guess if you have, yeah, if you're talking to some strategy where you go negative, I don't think floating 0 peasant estate satisfaction equilibrium is worth it. I think that's a bad strategy. How much does plus X possible pop in towns and countries matter? It's kind of a lot to unpack that. But your pops... Did they move that in the UI? Wait, what? Oh no, I just don't have eyes. Your pops give you political power. And they also determine how the tax base is split. And they also consume different amount of goods, with higher tier pops generally consuming more goods. And so all of this together makes it relevant, but in a kind of more subtle way than, like, directly relevant. I'm not sure yet, just trying it has been wordy run. Decentralization is just feeling broken and too overpowered. Yeah, I mean, like, decentralization just seems like... The margin by which decentralization is the clear choice now seems larger than the margin by which centralization was the clear choice before. I think it'd be cool if decentralization gave a small amount of proximity in every urban location and centralization gave a lot of proximity in the capital. Like, move the capital above 100% proximity. That's an idea. I think it would have to be really small. Well, no, you couldn't just, you would have to give a small amount of control in urban locations, not proximity, because otherwise you could just stretch a bunch of urban locations together and give them all proximity, and it'd be a road where you would gain 2 proximity, decay 2 proximity, gain 2, decay 2, something like this. Or even, like, you just create a line. If you gain 2 proximity every time you have an urban location and you spend 7 traveling through the road, this means that your reducing the cost by like, well, let's say 8 because the math's easier. You're reducing the cost by 25%. Decentralization's that good now? I think so. Decentral has had more niche uses last patch than centralization does now. Yeah, I think this as well. The thing is, a lot of the stuff that gives decentralization trend is just better, but on top of that, if you start having subjects, it pushes you really fast towards decentralization. Either one of those changes, I think, makes decentralization probably better, but the two changes together is a lot. The urban locations could just all function like bailiffs. Yeah. Isn't proximity only calculated by taking the path that gives you the max source? Yes, but... Or if he's talking about basically turning all your urban locations into a small bailiff. I don't know what number he's talking about. But yeah, so if you wanted to have the proximity floor of all urban locations be 30 or something, or 20... then decentralized would do nothing here, and it would only do something like for us over here. Relative to plus 10 proximity of the capital or something like this, or plus 5 even. I don't think you have to give a lot of proximity to the capital for it to be better than 30 proximity source on all urbans or something like this. Plus subject loyalty, yeah. Yeah, that's another thing, is it's very hard to... The penalty of loyalty to subjects is, like, really hard to overcome. Have you ever played Castile? If so, was the best capital location? I think Sevilla, long term. I think you keep it in Valladolid early on. The thing is that most of the pops are up in the north. With most of the pops up here, like, that's really good, but then what is it, climate is Mediterranean down here, so eventually the pop really starts to grow down here in the south. But I think from Sevilla you go naval, and then from Sevilla when you are projecting navally, you want to move in as many directions as possible. Venice is actually kind of not that good, because you're only kind of moving in one direction. You're like moving along the coast here, and that's like, you're not really gaining... The more different directions you move in via proximity, the more powerful it becomes, right? So if you're playing Kilwa, who's been annexed, you're moving in 2 directions, because you're moving down the coast, and you're moving up the coast. And with Sevilla, you're moving effectively in 4 directions. You're moving up the coast of Iberia here, and up the coast of Iberia here, but then you're also moving down the coast of North Africa, and kind of east along the coast of North Africa. So you're moving in like 4 directions effective. England has a similar thing where they're moving this way, they're moving this way, they're moving this way, right? And also Constantinople, similar thing. You're getting 4 directions. And so that's really, really good. In the central Mediterranean, you kind of get more than 4 directions. Cairo, you kind of have 3. You're moving this way, although there's not that much stuff this way, but you're also moving towards Greece. You have this way, so there's that, and then you also have like this way. And the thing is you get a lot of kind of proximity that way, and eventually as Castile, you get good proximity even to the north of Castile. There's kind of like this dead zone in here, but that's just a whole bunch of like cows, and you just like leave it cows and rural, and maybe you downgrade some of your cities, but then they already have a lot of pops. But like, yeah, it becomes a dead zone for control, but everywhere else is kind of high. What age does centralization get better, or does it? If it does, it's the age of absolutism, but I kind of think it doesn't. Or maybe it does because subjects apparently can't integrate areas. New subjects won't integrate stuff. Apparently, if you have an integrate area, when you make a new subject, they won't integrate it because they just don't like it. But that's like clearly and obviously a bug. How the hell do you develop Castile when Valladolid will have the worst proximity midterm? You don't move the capital for like 100 years. Yeah. You don't move the capital until you have, like, until you have a big chunk of North Africa. You don't move the capital until the proximity from Sevilla will give you more overall control over a larger percentage of your nation, basically. Tried pushing 5 cloth as England in your video, but they're not profitable and don't trade very well. I would build more wool. The wool allows you to have bigger margins on the cloth. Trade has also changed since I made that video, but harbor capacity in naval empires is the most important factor. Yeah, you have to have like a 50 plus harbor capacity, but after a certain point, you will always just pay nothing on the segment, so extra harbor capacity doesn't matter. I kind of don't like that, because once you floor it, it doesn't matter. I wish it did matter, which is, you know, another point in the column for efficiency modifiers for proximity instead of this. If you have efficiency modifiers, more harbor capacity will always matter. But since it's a reduction modifier, a discount modifier, eventually you just hit a point where it doesn't matter. So as long as you have 50, like, base harbor capacity, you kind of get to the point once you get enough buildings and once you get enough additional modifiers that it's all the same. So like here, the Cadiz is a better natural harbor, but no matter what, it's still 0.1 going into it because we've hit the floor, right? And then I said yeah, something about shorty on the floor. So like here, it's going to be, even though this is like a better harbor capacity, it doesn't matter. Yeah. I always hate playing Great Britain in EU4 and EU5 because I want to stay RP and stay on the island, but expanding is too juicy. Yeah, it's actual just like the best expand ever is into the lowlands. With like all this farmland and stuff. Hey Tristan, thank you for the $3 Canadian. Thank you again. You were donating earlier. Pair character. We got another one. Hey, thank you very much. Much appreciated. So, are trading offices worth keeping if built inside you, like Hansa building inside you? Probably not. I wouldn't go Sevilla at start. I would not either. I think you wait. But eventually. Trader's just super expensive as England. I'm paying like half a ducat on trade maintenance. Yeah, so that's the change, is trade maintenance. So it might be you have to get trade maintenance modifiers, but also you could keep collapsing the price of wool pretty far as England. I don't know how worth it is, but that's like one of the better things you can have going on. Oh, this is cute. We're getting the proximity from York. That's gonna give us proximity on all of England, because like proximity coming from Carthage to England is so far away. I kind of feel like I'm doing something wrong. I was rewatching your Venice run earlier today to get some insight on how trade works. I mean, trade's been changed. It's hard. Because now you don't pay... Now it's like pure gravy, the trade income, but it's a lot harder to have really big margin trades. Cadiz is also wetlands plus sparse. Yeah, but going in doesn't matter what the territory is going in. It's only going out where it matters. You see the wetlands and sparse don't get counted. How do I get rid of Crown of Castile government reform? They start with, that's the neat part. You don't. I think maybe you do if you like flip Republic or something. I think if you if your monarchy, it stays on constantly. I'm not 100%. They're changing the game specifically to screw over your tutorials. Honestly, sometimes it feels that way, but that's completely like generalist-centric view of things. There's no way they're doing that. But like that I ranked the #1 tech yesterday, or 10 hours ago, or 12 hours ago now, like as something, and then this patch it's like reduced by 60% is like kind of funny. I mean, I still think it's good. I just think it's like nowhere near as good or important. I mean, from a local tax-based standpoint, it builds up worse. Oh yeah, that's true. I think also like Sevilla is like a better capital because like you push like inland towards Cordoba much better, whereas like this is not as important. My point was that Cadiz is like it doesn't matter that it's a better harbor when in theory, like even if it mattered that it was a better harbor, like Sevilla might still be better. But as you get sufficiently naval, it would switch to being this, or switch to being Lisbon, actually, probably. It's maybe sacrilegious, but I actually kind of like Tortosa as a capital for Spain as well. You have a decent natural harbor. I would show you that it's on a river, but the river map mode was removed from the game. Yeah, I would show you, but alas, I could not. Where is it in the UI, like, for the plebs who don't use hotkeys? I have become pleb. Okay, there's a river that flows through here, and that's the reason why it's maybe reasonable as a capital, because it's, like, facing more of the Med here. And you can go through these sea zones now, apparently. So I think there's a decent argument that this is better. If you start to grab portions of Italy and, like, North Africa this way, well, especially because you could come through like this, yeah. Yeah, maybe it's Tortosa. It's 55%. I think 50% is kind of like a little bit of the threshold. Why is your river map mode working? Are you not on the thing? Or did they hotfix the river map mode? Do they hotfix it, baby? You could always go through them? Yeah, but what I didn't realize is that not only can you go through them, you can be really active about putting up their maritime presence. Just the auto patrol doesn't do it very well, so you have to do it manually. You have to manually push it. And the UI doesn't show at all the amount of maritime presence you have. But it just means you are going to have to park like in every single province, because the navies will increase the entire province. In terms of this, so we have a navy parked here, which is increasing the maritime presence in these two locations. So this means you have to park like maintenance navies very, very specifically and calculatedly with enough harbor capacity rather than using the patrol. So it's actually just kind of a lot of micro, but like we don't have very good proximity in here in these sea zones. So what we would have to do is we'd have to park a navy specifically over here. Like we can show it, I guess, a little bit here. I've been trying to outro the stream for like 30 minutes now, but so now we're getting like plus 17. So now this is capped on the coast, and so our ship would move on if it was auto patrolling. But you take a look here, we're now getting plus 17. So that's going to be really valuable for getting over to Alexandria. Is there something else assigned to G? No, it's just broken. You're trolling me. You're trolling me, or it got hotfixed. But I actually want to read up on how upset people are on the forums. Is it the front page of the subreddit? The river map mode? I hope to God it is. Look how they massacred my poor boy. It of course isn't, but... it of course is not, but... okay. I think we're gonna outro. Let's see if anyone else is streaming the category. That we want to maybe raid. Anyone streaming EU5? Italy buffs? It says Playmaker. Let's see who else is streaming. I like to try and mix it up, but looks like Playmaker might be the only one who's streaming. Yeah, so it does look like it. So we're gonna give him a raid. We're the only one we immediately recognize, I guess. So we're gonna also give the link to the Twitch on YouTube, but if you're on YouTube, he streams both, so you can also just look him up. It's the number 4 post on the subreddit. Oh, baby. It is the number 4. This is an outrage. I'm going to be commenting on there. I'm going to be sending a sternly voiced complaint. But, okay. I think we're going to say goodbye to the YouTubers and then send out the stream. So, bye-bye, everyone. I think we'll have a video for a summary. And then we send